The heart of LA, Valley Sports West. The heart of the fan.
Angels baseball on the air from the Big A as the Halos open up a 4-game weekend series against the Cleveland Guardians. And Angels Live, by the way, presented by Lexus. Fans filing in, hoping to get their Angels back in the win column after a tough series against the Baltimore Orioles. Here's what's on tap over the next 30 minutes on a show we like to call a very big show from inside the Big A. The latest on Shohei Otani. It's Shohei Watch 2023. Erica Weston will have the latest. Nolan Schanuel can make franchise history. I want GA to comment on this. And the Luis Rengifo has been on a roll in the tune of a 14-game hit streak. That and much more happens right here, right now on a show we like to call Angels Live. And we like to call this the very big show. Why?
Why? Come on, Frenchie.
Jump the gun. Because GA's here. Because Mark Gubaza is here.
No, it's GA. It's all about GA.
And it's about Gooby. And it's about all of you. Thanks for joining us here on Shohei Otani Watch 2023. My goodness. You know, Gooby and GA, you see here, they line the foul lines. The fans come out with their cell phones ready to watch GA take to the field. Waiting for him. He missed the entire series against Baltimore with that oblique injury. GA, I know we've never seen anything like it before, ever, about the attention he gets. We need Shohei on this field.
No, you definitely need him on the field. I mean, he's done major attraction all year long, and, you know, around Anaheim and around the league now. So it is kind of hard to come here and not see him.
And he's got the all the numbers. You know he wants to be out here, Gooby, more than anybody else. I mean, it's got to be hard for him to sit and wait, because it was up to him, he'd be in the lineup.
And he keeps saying to Phil Nevin, I want to play, but you got to make sure that he's healthy enough to go out there and perform. He's getting closer. He's doing more baseball activities, running around. That's always important for Shohei, but everyone wants to see. We want to see Shohei continue this historic season out swinging the bat right now.
Well, when Angels fans want answers, there's only one person to go to. That would be Erica Weston. We like to call her the anchor of the Good News Network. Erica, please give us some good news about Shohei Otani.
I'm trying so hard, Frenchie. I promise. Yes, Shohei Otani Watch 2023 in full force today, especially on the field before the game today. Really haven't seen much of Shohei on the field at all since that oblique injury occurred Monday in that first game against the Orioles when he was hitting on the field, that awkward swing, and then he subsequently left the field. Haven't seen much of him, but we were out here earlier today waiting for Phil Nevin, and then Shohei came bounding up the stairs doing some agility work on the field. This was earlier today, light jogging, some stretching, some agility work. He is not going to be in the lineup tonight. He is getting closer, so this is the first time we've seen him in the last couple of days. Here is more about Shohei's condition, how he's feeling, and what the next couple days look like from Phil Nevin.
He's moving around good. The swings were close, but not close enough to start tonight. So we may ramp up later if he's got a chance to pinch hit. We'll see.
Is there still like a pain that he's dealing with or discomfort? I know you mentioned that.
Just a little uncomfortable, and with those things, it has to be 100% for me, because you rip that, and it's not a fun. I mean, obviously it would mean the rest of the year, but you know, it's not a fun time either. You don't want to risk anybody at any time for that.
Is that a real risk with him going if he were to go?
You know, I don't think so, but it just, you know, you don't want to take those chances. Just might as well take it another day and see how he feels tomorrow.
So Shohei did not swing a bat yesterday. He did swing the bat today. Phil Nevin said he felt pretty good taking those swings. They just don't want to risk it. He said we're within a day or two. It's just not going to be today. They're going to check with him, see if he's available to pinch hit later in the game. There were so many members of the media on the field when he came running up the stairs today. I thought they might have been for GA since he's back in the house. Turns out they're just for Shohei.
Usually is for GA.
Hardly.
I appreciate that. Yes.
And they make me show double ID when I come in here.
And you're just saving the good news for tomorrow. I know what you're doing, Erica Weston. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. We will talk to you in a little bit during the broadcast. But Shohei Otani, you know, GA, we were just watching his swing that he tweaked it on Monday. And the irony is, guys, he doesn't normally take BP on the field. And that was a very awkward-looking swing.
Yeah, the few swings before that were pretty violent. I mean, he was taking, like Gooby said, he was taking, long drive competition swings, but it wasn't unfortunate. I've never seen a check swing like that in batting practice. Usually you finish the swing, but I guess, him going through this oblique thing, he must going to be adding to his legacy, because I've never seen anybody come back that quick from an oblique strain.
But he's Shohei Otani.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly it.
I mean, come on.
I'll tell you what, the other day, Jim Palmer, the Hall of Famer Jim Palmer, came into the booth. He said he has never seen anybody take batting practice like that. The baseball, as far as it was going, and he's seen a lot of great players over the years. It's amazing what Shohei does. Even the best of the best are in awe of Shohei Otani. And he was running pretty free and easy there on that one. But you're right, anytime with the oblique muscle there, you always worry about an awkward swing, an off-speed pitch, things like that. So Shohei knows his body as well as anybody. His healing process is incredible, and his work ethic is even better than that. So you just never know with Shohei. Maybe see him sooner or later. Bill Nevin is up tipping his hand on that one either. He may be available. So Francona's going to be over to go, wait a minute, is Shohei available tonight after all? Well, who knows about that?
Maybe. Well, I'll tell you what, this is how it's going to start right now. 4th straight game, Shohei Otani out of the lineup, but this is how it's going to look. Schanuel, Drury, Rengifo, Moustakis, those guys have been hitting the ball well. You got the switch hitting, Escobar, Moniak, Wallach, Cabbage, and of course, Kyron Paris back in the lineup after getting the day off the other day. But let's talk about Nolan Schanuel for a minute. And I want to get your reaction, GA, and I know you're a proponent of 1,500 ABs when it comes to AAA, and this is a guy 40 days after he was drafted by the Angels. He's in the lineup, has a 10-game hit streak to go by Eckstein. Now he's been on base 15 straight days. He ties Erstad. He's getting ready to knock your boy off again. What's going on with this guy?
I guess the game didn't pass me by. I mean, you could just come out of college and just start playing big league baseball. No, it's just he's got great hand-eye contact just in the beginning. He hits the ball everywhere, and he lets the ball travel. So it's more of a polished hitter. I know definitely at his age where I was, and it wasn't doing that. It was more of still trying to find myself, but he seems pretty confident of where he is as a hitter right now.
And the power's going to come, right, Gooby?
I would think so. Take a look at our StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. What he has done with those hits, 16 of them, 15 singles, 1 double. And you look at the different pitches he's actually gotten hits. All of them are 4-seam, sinker, slider, cutter, changeup, curveball, sweeper, and a partridge in a pear tree he's got a hit again so far. So, I mean, the thing is about him, and you know this, Shia, it's got to be really tough to control a strike zone at that young of age, especially when you're making it to major leagues so quickly after college. That's the thing I find incredible about him. He doesn't chase a whole lot of pitches out of the strike zone. He brings pitches in the zone, hits the ball all the fields, and just like I remember hearing about you, GA, early in your career, when's he going to hit for power? Well, you know what? You hit a lot of home runs. Eventually, you hit for power.
Well, now he's got the line that's down.
I don't even want to talk about that line. Let's go to the next segment.
429 on base percentage, 13 runs for Nolan Schanuel in just 15 games. He's been a great table setter for this lineup. But another guy, I know, G.A., you've been Jhonathan to talk about Luis Rengifo because you were calling his name last year at this time with the second half he had. No surprise that he's been able to do what he's doing right now.
It's unfortunate when teams have injuries, but those are the times that players can step up and show that they can play every day, and he's done exactly that. And last year I was very impressed, day to day, playing different positions, and going from not playing to playing every day is a tough thing during the season. So it's ecstatic to see him doing it again this year. I mean, it's awesome to see that he's showing again that he can be productive at the plate and amid playing many different positions. So I just keep watching him play, and I love watching him play because he's taking advantage of his opportunity, and that's what being a big league ball player is about.
I mean, when you look at that, how you hit a changeup like that out. I mean, he's very aggressive. We were talking about that even before on the air today, how aggressive he is on the first pitch, how he hits the ball hard. 17 walks all last season, 41 walks this season. So, yes, he's aggressive on the first pitch, but they end up being some pretty long at-bats, and he's not swinging and chasing out of the strike zone, too. I mean, when you look what he's done, 25 hits, 16 singles, but 5 home runs in that one, GA, with 3 doubles, and an OPS of almost 1,300, slugging over 800. That's doing some damage.
He can hit that changeup because he's getting at-bats now. Yeah, that's why.
He's aggressive, though, Gooby. He goes out there, and he's really, for the most part, swings at the first pitch. If he sees it, he's hitting it, and it's dropping or it's going over the fence.
I mean, and he's getting that good barrel in the bat. His hands getting through there. He's the drive to the baseball is much quicker, more compact, and he's doing an outstanding job. Take a look at our play sum. It's what he's doing with his arms right now in the hands. Early in the season, he mentioned his G, wasn't playing a whole lot, so those hands, the hips are out in front, trying to keep the hands back, but unable to do it on changeups. But you fast forward what he did last night on a changeup, getting those hands again, more direct path to the baseball and making that good contact down in front. He's hitting 282 versus off speed now with 5 home runs. So he's doing some damage, over 600. It's about 600 slugging percentage on off-speed pitches. That's a pretty big adjustment to be able to make that on those pitches where a lot of hitters get themselves out on off-speed.
GA, real quickly, pregame routine, something that Marcus Sims has been working with Rengifo on. You really didn't have much of a pregame routine, did you? But there were a couple teammates that did.
Yeah, it was all over the place. But I still got my work in. It wasn't like a typical routine. You come in at the same time every day. Erstad would come at the same time every day. He would literally get upset at me because I could come in at different times just to get my work in. So he ended up calling me the floater. That was my nickname from him for the rest of our career time playing together. But everybody has some type of routine, and you know it is good to have a good relationship with your hitting coach. I had a really good hitting coach in Rockaroo, and one of the first things he taught me was I'm going to have to be my own coach. So I developed my own routine, and we had a good rapport with how to hit pitches and do certain things with. So it's good to see that he does have a good rapport with his hitting coach.
I think it turned out pretty well.
Yeah.
And you know what? Speaking of the floater, Gooby, you're normally a floater, but I'm going to let you not float. Don't float away yet.
Not yet.
Oh, you're going to hang out for one more.
I can float in the pool right now. Just a little longer.
We're going to take our first time out here on Angels Live, coming at you from inside the big game. But as Jhonathan Diaz gets set for a bullpen game for the Halos, this is what's on tap. The Guardians trying to hang in the AL Central. Erica Weston talks with Kenny Rosenberg and Brandon Drury. Boy, has he been good at home. All those stories and much more on the other side.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Rally Studios. Brooke Fletcher here alongside Joshua Perry. JP, new season and new expectations for the Detroit Lions here. In your opinion, what would be a successful season?
I think winning the division would define success for them. Could we see a playoff win? That'd be a big deal because they haven't had one in such a long time. But I think right in that realm would be about right for the Lions.
Hey, Lions fans would be happy with a division win there. All right, we're talking more topics like this right here on the Rally. You can catch it Friday on your local Valley Sports Network. We'll see you then.
I'ma do what? That's on me. But I keep it OG. No, you can't shine if you stay low key. That's on me.
Watch games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network.
Covering a full night of baseball is a team effort, and it all starts right here with Harold and Adnan on MLB Tonight's First Pitch.
Who's ready for baseball?
It's time for the first pitch.
We're about 25 minutes from game time. I'm so excited.
Our quick hitters right out of the gate. During the games, we take you to the games where you might see a lot.
Greg, we have a potential walk-off at Wrigley.
No way. What's going on?
Oh, they've got a runner at third and Nico Horner's up.
Here's a pitch.
Base hit. Nico rocks it out. Cubs win.
Cubs win. And after the games, we're all about instant highlights and player reactions.
Nico, congratulations. Your first career walk-off hit. How did that one feel?
Oh, man, it's as good as it gets. An amazing crowd here tonight. Wrigley Field is a very special place. We're feeling good right now, for sure.
And that's how this team covers every team. All in a night's work on MLB Tonight.
The Roberto Clemente Award is bestowed annually to the player who best represents the game of baseball, both on and off the field. Friday, join MLB Central as this year's nominees for this prestigious award are announced. Live Friday on MLB Network.
Your Southern California Lexus dealers experience amazing. Angels open up a 4-game weekend series against the Cleveland Guardians, a team trying to get themselves into the postseason. Wild card pretty much out the door. 6-pack of the Twins after dropping 2 of 3 versus the Twins earlier this week. The Guardians 6-pack with 22 to play. If Minnesota plays 500 baseball, Cleveland needs to go 17 of 22 to take the Central. That's going to be interesting as we take a look at the batting order here for a very young Guardians lineup. GA, though, the one guy I want to point out here is Jose Ramirez, playing third base here tonight at 31 years old. He turns 31 on September 17th. He is by far the oldest of the youngest lineup in all of baseball.
The old veteran at 31, right?
How do you like that?
No, that's awesome. He's had a really good career. He's established himself really well in Cleveland, and it's just nice to see guys be consistent and not just be up and down. He's been solid his whole career.
I mean, you look at him, how many extra base hits. Every year you can pencil him in as one of the most extra base hits. He's got 21 home runs. Overall, 49 extra base hits, and also 22 stolen base. He is a very, very good base runner, and he's the one guy in their lineup as a pitcher you're focusing, I can't beat me. yet he's still putting up these numbers every year. Those big moment times, he has been outstanding as far as making good contact from both sides of the plate, really good power, but he also will go the other way with very good effect.
Yeah, and he's a guy that leads by example, too. He only hit 207 in August, but you ask everybody on this Guardians team, it's how he plays the game, how he runs to first base. You mentioned 22 stolen bases. Even if he's slumping, he's still a positive voice in that clubhouse. As we transition to something that's kind of unprecedented this time of year, to have three guys that were on your team that all of a sudden, about a week later, they're on the other team. As we know, we had 5 guys placed on waivers. 3 of them, the Guardians picked up. GA, a little interesting. Giolito started on Saturday. Lopez, he's unavailable tonight. We might see Matt Moore, but this is interesting, to say the least.
All I have to say is that's just business. It just comes down to the bottom line. Anytime you see, a guy get put on waivers, teams are at where they're at a certain part of the season. You see these things come up, and you know exactly it's, get into a cost-saving mode, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, when you look at Matt Moore and Lopez, what they did in the bullpen, and Lucas Giolito, too, I mean, they've been doing a really good job. You think about it, they got Cole Calhoun and Ramon Laureano the same way on the waiver wire. So they got 5 guys doing some damage there for them in big parts of their lineup right now as they try to make a run at the Minnesota Twins. The Guardians right now, their offense has not been as consistent, but some key guys in their rotation have been out too.
Yeah, and you were a key guy in our rotation for the first 2 segments, but now you're out too.
Now I'm out too. And hopefully it's only like a couple-day IL.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I appreciate that, Gooey. Thank you very much. You'll never be placed on waivers as far as I'm concerned. Have a good broadcast tonight as we take the time out here on the program. When we do come back, G and I, we're going to spread out a little bit, and we're going to talk about Kenny Rosenberg. He had his best start of his young Major League career on Monday against the Orioles. On the other side, he's going to talk with Weston about being a Halo.
Covering a full night of baseball is a team effort, and it all starts right here with Harold and Adnan on MLB Tonight's First Pitch.
Who's ready for baseball?
It's time for the first pitch.
We're about 25 minutes from game time. I'm so excited.
Our quick hitters right out of the gate. During the games, we take you to the games where you might see a lot.
Greg, we have a potential walk-off at Wrigley.
No way. What's going on?
Oh, they've got a runner at third, and Nico Horner's up.
Here's a pitch.
Base hit. Nico rocks it off. Cubs win.
Cubs win. And after the games, we're all about instant highlights and player reactions.
Nico, congratulations. Your first career walk-off hit. How did that one feel?
Man, it's as good as it gets. An amazing crowd here tonight. Wrigley Field is a very special place. We're feeling good right now, for sure.
And that's how this team covers every team. All in a night's work on MLB Tonight.
Live at Valley Sports is brought to you by your Southern California Lexus dealers. Experience amazing. That's Jhonathan Diaz getting ready to start a bullpen game. Should have been Jaime Barria today, but he pitched last night in a mop-up role. Kenny Rosenberg, yeah, he was on the hill Monday against the O's. His best outing as a major leaguer. Right now, he's standing by with Weston.
Guys, thanks very much. Kenny, first start of the season earlier this week, and you turn in a quality start against a pretty good Baltimore Orioles squad. Coming out of that one, how you feeling from just like a mental standpoint?
Yeah, I think mentally this is probably the best I've felt all year. Obviously, like being in AAA for now most of my second year. it's been good to be on a starting rotation routine, and you know what day you're going to throw, and you know some of those, like you said, like the mental aspect of it. You know what day you're throwing. You have your bullpen work, your work in the gym. It's very easy to just kind of set yourself up for success on that 5th or 6th or 7th day down there. And so being here now and being given an opportunity to get on that same routine definitely gives me a little bit of peace of mind. You know, I was on the shuttle bus a little bit there for a few weeks, and you know, that's a challenge that I faced head on last year, in my first year in the big leagues, and so I was ready for it this year. But it certainly gives you more peace of mind, and not only mentally but physically, you're able to really just like, you have a finish line that you're working towards that 5th, 6th day. So it's been good.
So you got the mental part of it down. You get another opportunity this weekend to end this homestand. Just from like a confidence standpoint, knowing that you're going to be taking the ball again, what does that mean to you? Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, we talk a lot about, you know, in baseball, like confidence being extremely important. You know, you have to believe that you can go and get some of these, you know, some of the best players in the league out, and get them out not once but twice and sometimes 3 times as a starting pitcher. So, you know, when you face a really good team like Baltimore, or, you know, even kind of drawing back on some of my past experiences pitching in Houston earlier this year, faced the Yankees last year, started against the Seattle Mariners last year. I've pitched against some good teams, and so it does build my confidence that I can get anyone out in any spot multiple times through. So yeah, I mean, you take it one start at a time, you know, and then, you know, to even zoom it down further, you know, one at bat and one pitch at a time, and you just try to execute your pitches and trust that if you throw good ones that you'll get outs. Saw your family on the last road trip, was with you, tagging along. How much has being a dad kind of changed your perspective of everything that it takes to be in the big leagues? It's the best. I mean, it certainly gives you something more to play for. You know, anyone who you talk to who's a first-time parent, I think they'll tell you, like, those first couple months are really hard. As Chase Silset's walking down here now, yeah, he's going to get to see it here in a few months. And it just, even more so than, like, giving you something to play for, you know, when you come home at the end of the day, like, you just, the on-field stuff doesn't matter. He has no idea that I even play baseball, or if it went well or if it went poorly. And I think for me and for my wife Christy as well, it just kind of brings us back down to center and like what matters, right? Because at the end of the day, you know, I love what I do, but it's not forever, you know. And being a dad and raising children and starting a family, that's what's really important, and it makes this stuff that much more fun, and it makes going home that much more centering. More rewarding. Yeah, we got great perspective on the whole game. Thanks for the time. Looking forward to seeing you back out there. Of course. Thanks, Erica. All right, guys, back to you.
Erica, thank you. It's all about perspective. 6 innings of 3-run baseball, 7 hits, 2 walks, and 4 Ks on Monday. His first quality start in the big leagues. Good to see Kenny Rosenberg, GA, come up and make a difference. And this is a guy that's important to this team because he can have long relief, he can start, and he can also come in relief and short relief as well.
Yeah, and it's good to recognize that what kind of pitcher he is. He's going to have to pitch at this level to be successful. Use all of his pitches. He doesn't have an above-average fastball, but you don't have to have one in the big leagues as long as you can throw strikes. So mixing up pitches and just exposing and forcing the hitters to hit his pitch, he's definitely going to have success because he's a left-handed pitcher.
In 2016 with Cal State Northridge, he led the Big West in strikeouts, beating out Shane Bieber, by the way, who would win a Cy Young Award. This guy can pitch, and he's starting to show what he can do at the big league level. As we take a little time out here on Angels Live, coming at you from inside the big game. And when we do come back, Brandon Drury, home sweet home. Boy, does he like the home cooking. GA is going to tell us why Drury can hit so well inside the big A.
This is Christopher Russo. This is Joey Votto. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Christopher Russo plays hard, so he doesn't end up here.
Must be nice to sit atop that Madison Avenue ivory tower, looking down at us with those luscious locks. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're a disgrace.
High Heat with Christopher Russo.
It took me the last 2 weeks prepping for this interview. I didn't realize how much I love you. You are the best.
On MLB Network.
I'ma do work, that's on me.
Watch games and coverage all day, every day. your way on MLB Network. The Roberto Clemente Award is bestowed annually to the player who best represents the game of baseball, both on and off the field. Friday, join MLB Central as this year's nominees for this prestigious award are announced. Live Friday on MLB Network.
The day after the Angels win at home, fans can redeem a free medium fries with a $1 minimum purchase at participating SoCal McDonald's. Download and register on the McDonald's app. Halos need to win at home so the kids can eat fries the next day. Put them on a tray, spread them out. Put like 9 in your mouth. Have fun with it. Brandon Drury's been having fun at home. GA, how about an OPS of 952 here at the Big A, 6th in the American League? Why? Why the comforts of home for Brandon Drury?
Sometimes it's just something you can't explain, but I got to imagine he can be comfortable anywhere because he hits the ball to all parts of the park. He stays in the big part of the park, so you really can't pigeonhole him on how to play defense and whatnot. So, and he goes over the line like, hit it up in the seat, so he doesn't have to go. Of course he does. Yes. No, he definitely stays in the middle park, and that's what makes him a good hitter here.
Second Halo, second baseman to hit 20 or more homers, tying Bobby Grich. And I got to love his story, too. Signed a minor league contract with Cincinnati last March, made the roster, ends up with a Silver Slugger, and turned that into a 2-year deal with the Angels. So good on Brandon Drury, and he's been a big part of this lineup throughout the course of the season. Hopefully, Drury will continue to hit well at home tonight against these Cleveland Guardians. As it's about time for Angels baseball, Jhonathan Diaz is on the hill in a bullpen game for the Halos. Yeah, they're going to water down the field. They're getting it all ready to go. Barney and the crew has got it dialed in. Angels baseball is next.
MLB Big Inning brings you the biggest plays of the night, live as they happen. Don't miss the ultimate baseball highlight reel. It's nonstop action on MLB Big Inning, every night on MLB.tv.
Listen to live Black Ad-free audio from every major league club.
And Aaron Judge with some thump.
Stream video of minor league games.
That's a go-ahead grand slam.
And watch the best baseball highlights and look-ins on MLB Big Inning. The all-new At Bat is your all-in-one live baseball subscription for only $3.99 per month.
There she goes, home run, Pete Alonso.
Subscribe to At Bat within the MLB app today.
The heart of your team. The heart of LA. Valley Sports West. The heart of the fan.
Just lovely this time of year in Southern California. Tonight's game one of a four-game series. It's the Los Angeles Angels, against the Cleveland Guardians from Angel Stadium. Alongside Mark Gubaza, I'm Wayne Randazzo. We do have an update on Shohei Otani, although he's not in the lineup tonight. But there is some improvement for Shohei, who was out on the field before the game today. He was running. He was taking some light swings before the game today. So he's getting closer. The Angels' expectation is that Shohei will return to the lineup in the next day or two, just not in there tonight for game one of this four-game series against the Guardians. The Angels do have Nolan Schanuel at the top of their order, though. Tonight, Schanuel's been on base so far in every game in his major league career.
Wayne, he controls the strike zone so well, so patient at the plate. He got those good, quick hands. Take a look at our key player profile, what he has done during this 15-game stretch for Schanuel, getting on base, tying Darren Ersted's record back in 1996 with 15 straight games in which he has reached base, already with 12 walks a season, a .429 on-base percentage. Is driving the ball to all fields. And you take a look at our StatCast, 3D powered by Google Cloud, 16 hits, 15 singles, 1 double. The power will come, but look at all the pitches he's hit between the four-seamer, sinker, slider, cutter, changeup, curveball, and also a sweeper. All fields, stays back, lets that baseball get deep in the zone, and hits the ball everywhere on the field.
He'll have a chance today to set an Angels record by reaching base for his 16th straight game to start his career. Meanwhile, we'll see if Giffy the Great continues his stretch of 14-game hitting streak for Luis Rengifo. That'll be on the line here tonight, game one against the Guardians.
The power of baseball goes beyond the field.
What an exciting time.
Stand up, Together.
This is Garrett Cole. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Garrett Cole plays hard, so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
I'ma do work, that's on me. But I keep it OG. No, you can't shine if you stay low key. That's on me.
Watch games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network.
Hitting streak. He is at 446 over the life of that hit streak. He'll try to continue it here tonight in game one of this four-game set against the Guardians.
This is Chris Bryant. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Chris Bryant plays hard so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network. You want highlights? Quick Pitch has you covered, packing all today's biggest plays into one lightning-fast hour.
What a play!
We live today, preview tomorrow on Quick Pitch. Late nights and early mornings, only on MLB Network.
See it. He struck him out. It's out of here.
Feel it. I can't wait for this game to start.
He took a home run away.
Leave it.
That is as good as it gets.
The big plays. The beauty of sports is when the hero comes through.
Yeah, the tense moments.
We have an update we must show you.
Done it again.
With live look-ins, highlights, and breakdowns.
That might be what it takes to win.
MLB Tonight on MLB Network.
Diaz to make the start today. Diaz making his Major League season debut. He's had some opportunities over the last couple of seasons for the Halos at the Major League level. Well, this is his first of this year up against Cleveland tonight.
Yeah, 2-1 with a 3.49 career ERA with the Angels. Pretty solid season in AAA this year with a 9-2 with a 4.55 ERA. My go-tos for Diaz to have a solid game again. He has that good sneaky fastball. Spot that fastball, especially inside. Gets inside very well against right-handed batters and ride that secondary stuff. Very good slider and changeup. He'll get quite a few swing and misses with those.
Give you the lineup for Cleveland. Stephen Kwan leading off for the Guardians. Cole Calhoun, the former Angel, is in there. He's the designated hitter for the Guardians today as he bats in the 5 spot. Very young Guardians team, although Josh Naylor's brother Bo is not in there tonight. David Fry is doing the catching for Cleveland. And there is the veteran manager of the Guardians, Terry Francona, has seemingly made some hints lately that he's getting close to the end of his managerial career. You know, he's done more than hint, especially lately, that this might be it for Terry Francona in a big league dugout.
Yeah, but one of the best managers in the game, one of those guys you always want to play hard for. Every one of his teams have played extremely hard for Tito Francona.
Stephen Kwan takes ball 1. Cleveland is kind of in it in the American League Central. The Guardians are 67-73. They're 6 games out. They lost 2 out of 3 in an important series this week against Minnesota, but they did win the game yesterday, which gave them the season series win over the Twins. And that gives them just a glimmer of hope because now they own the tiebreaker over Minnesota. So Cleveland does not have to surpass the Twins. They only have to tie the Twins to be the American League Central Division champions. Still a big hill to climb, though, for Cleveland over the final few weeks. Stephen Kwan trying to dump one into left center field, and he has a base hit.
And the defense behind Diaz today, brought to you by Easton and Easton. Brandon Drury at second base. He has been outstanding. We've highlighted him a few times of late. 993 fielding percentage, 44 double plays. Another outstanding play on the backhand last night. Paris at short, Escobar. Schanuel over first base. Wallach behind the plate. Cabbage in left. Saw Brett Phillips out in center field. And Luis Rengifo now back out in right field after playing shortstop. He's bouncing all over the place, but still crushing the baseball.
Strike 1 to Jose Ramirez, who will likely be the best player on the field tonight without Shohei in the lineup for the Angels. Ramirez continues to be kind of an underrated star. 1 ball, 1 strike on Ramirez, a switch hitter who is not having a huge year, but still a very solid season for Cleveland. He is signed long-term for the Guardians. Drives this ball out toward right center field. It hangs up, and Brett Phillips is there.
It's that changeup for Diaz will get the hitters out in front. He's shown already he will pitch inside, although a couple of those pitches haven't been on the corners. They've been some off the plate, but still effective, especially with his changeup.
So one out. Here's Josh Naylor, who had a ridiculous series against the Angels in Cleveland earlier this year back in May. He's hit 15 home runs this year. He does have some power. 80 RBIs for Naylor. But in sort of an absurdity, out of his 15 home runs, 8 of them have come in the 8th inning or later. That dates back to 2021. The Naylors hit 8 go-ahead home runs in the 8th inning or later. But he had 3 of those against the Angels in back-to-back-to-back games this year.
He was trying to do some damage on that swing. Yeah, he doesn't definitely get cheated at the plate. He's up there trying to hit a ball a mile.
Well, it's not the 8th inning yet, so he didn't connect.
No, that's the key.
1 ball, 1 strike. Now 2-1. Naylor became the first player in the expansion area, which starts with the Angels really in 1961. To hit go-ahead home runs in the 8th inning or later in 3 straight games.
At that point, the Guardians' offense was really struggling. Naylor was on fire in that series.
Diaz with a check at first. So the Guardians have only hit 106 home runs as a team this year. Ramirez is 21. Naylor has 15. And Josh Bell hit 11 while he was with Cleveland.
They could steal some bases, 120 of them. He's caught 27 times. Juan has 18 stolen bases, so Diaz keeping an eye on him. It looked like he was ready to go earlier in this at bat.
Runner going, and now he's caught between first and second. Quan in a rundown. Harris gets it to Schanuel. Quick flip over to Brandon Drury covering second base. And Quan is caught stealing.
A few more of those throws than you would like to on a rundown like that, but not a lot of experience at the major league level with Paris and Schanuel also. This gets that quick enough to be able to get the tag down by Brandon Drury. This pickoff by Diaz. He's only allowed 1 stolen base and 1 attempt in his career on the mound for the Angels.
Now strike to Naylor makes it 2-2. You mentioned Diaz's ERA at AAA 4.55. Doesn't really jump off the page, but that's more than a full run better than the league average in the Pacific Coast League this year, where the ERA was 5.76 entering today.
That baseball flies. Absolutely flies there. Every city they play in there.
3 balls, 2 strikes on Josh Naylor. And there's ball 4. Diaz missed with the slider. So 2 of the 3 Guardians have reached here in the first, although Quan was caught stealing.
Just can't seem to find a way not to face Ramon Laureano over the years. Somehow finds his way here now with the Guardians after all those years with Oakland.
Laureano strangely put himself into a sort of record book when he homered in his Guardians debut, a game that Cleveland won 1-0. He was the first player to do that in a team debut since he did it himself with Oakland. Runner going again. This time Naylor tries to steal second, throw down, and it's not in time. A stolen base for Naylor.
7th stolen base. Going all first movement there by Diaz. Slides in there, is able to stay connected with the base going by. He's only been caught twice. Laureano with 10 career home runs against the Angels. We'll probably, and we will do that, highlight him on the defensive side. He's had some amazing outfield assists in his career against the Angels, whether center field or in right field.
2 balls and a strike on Laureano. And now 2-2.
Always been a good fastball hitter. susceptible to a chase on a breaking ball. So now that swing there from against Diaz, you might want to try that one again a little bit lower out of the zone.
Diaz is pretty much stretched out. He worked 5 innings in his last AAA appearance, threw 79 pitches in that game, threw 90 the outing before. He had been in relief early in the year, but he's been starting pretty much since the end of July. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Laureano. Ground ball, and Kyron Paris has that. Retires Laureano to end the first. 0 for Jhonathan Diaz.
Create amazing work with Fiverr. All you need is your team and a talented freelancer who will lend a hand and seamlessly join your team from just about anywhere. Expand your team with a Fiverr freelancer.
We love going to games, but good seats get pricey. So we use Game Time. Game Time checks ticket prices in real time and finds you all the best last-minute deals. We got our seats 20 minutes ago for 60% off. Last-minute tickets at the best price in seconds. Download Game Time now.
Welcome to the Aura Sleep Lab. You need a bit more deep sleep. Getting enough high-quality sleep increases immunity. Why? Because sleep helps fend off sickness. A good night's sleep boosts your number of infection-fighting antibodies and cells. And with your Aura Ring, you can learn how to sleep deep and keep your immunity up. It's like having a sleep lab on your finger. Go to sleep with auraring.com.
Prescription eyewear can be really expensive, but here's a secret. Glasses don't actually cost that much to make. Surprise! Especially when you design your own eyewear and then sell it directly to your customers, like we do. Oh hi, we're Warby Parker. Our glasses start at $95, including prescription lenses. And the best part? You can try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
Tustin Buick GMC as Nolan Schanuel leads things off again. Schanuel's been on base in 15 consecutive games to begin his major league career. That ties an Angels record. Drury and Rengifo have swung the bat well lately. Mickey Moniak was in the original lineup, but he was scratched just a few minutes before first pitch due to back tightness. So Brett Phillips in the lineup for the Angels instead. And here's Cal Quantrill starting for Cleveland.
91-96 with his fastball, cutter, changeup, curveball, and a splitter.
The Angels saw Quantrill in Cleveland May 13th, scored a few runs off him. Mickey Moniak had a leadoff home run in that game. Now Schanuel drives one out toward left center field, but Quan catches up to it and makes the catch.
And my go-to is to have success against Quantrill tonight and see if they get some early runs and doing some damage. You've got to make that consistent contact versus his changeup. 313 batting average, 3 home runs versus his changeup, and success with runners in scoring position against him. 351 batting average against him with runners in scoring position.
Remember, Moniak's home run was actually on his birthday. It was the first leadoff home run on a birthday in Angels history. Here's Brandon Drury. He takes ball 1 from Quantrill, who's missed a lot of time this year. Quantrill's been on the IL a couple of different times with shoulder injuries, so he hasn't pitched much. This is only his 2nd outing since the beginning of July.
And he pitched a pretty good game that game out against Tampa.
2 runs in 6 innings, only allowed 2 hits in that game. And the Guardians starting pitching has not been quite the same as usual. Well, the pitch was well off the plate. Drury needs a minute to compose himself after that call from.
Yeah, that was a long walk away from the batter's box after that sinker was called a strike.
Ryan Honora, the home plate umpire. The Guardians don't have Shane Bieber or Tristan McKenzie right now. They both are making their way back, and Cleveland hopes to have both soon enough. Drury with a little chopper. Jimenez waits for it and throws him out.
One thing about this team, they have some pretty good defense. Speaking of defense, and So Ramon Laureano out in right field. 2 outfield assists so far this year. 41 in his career. Straw and Quan in the outfield too for the Guardians. And Fry behind the plate. We thought we might see Bo Naylor behind the plate, but Josh Naylor is over at first base. Menace made a nice play there on that one. Ramirez, the third, or Arias at shortstop. So they could pick it.
Luis Rengifo in the on-deck circle, and now he is being looked at by Phil Nevin and Mike Frostad, the Angels' head athletic trainer. Rengifo, I don't know if he was taking a practice swing and something happened to his left wrist or what. Escobar coming out to check on him too. Well, the Angels have had so many injuries this year, and now you got someone feeling pain in the on-deck circle. We have a video of whatever happened, but he's really having a hard time with that left hand.
See him here. It is. He's going through his practice swing on that one. And right away, you see that hand. Very uncomfortable. A lot of pain.
So now Mike Moustakas is on his way out. And he will bat for Rengifo. If this was something that was already nagging Rengifo that just came up on him here, but he's not going to be able to take this at bat. Well, Moustakas actually is in the on-deck circle anyway because he's in the lineup, so he will not be the one taking this at bat. I guess Randall Grichuk might.
And Moustakas saw right away just on that swing how uncomfortable the hand wrist area.
So Grichuk will pinch hit. I don't know if this was because of this particular swing or if something was already going on, but
left wrist area arm.
Kind of grabbing at his forearm there too. So the Angels have had various injuries to a lot of their players all year. Rengifo's been one of the few that has been unscathed. He has not had any moment this season where he's missed time because of an injury. He's really the only one that could say that.
And Eduardo Escobar is explaining what he felt that he heard from Luis Rengifo to Phil Nevin and Marcus Timms there.
So Grichuk will bat for Rengifo and play in the outfield. And there's a strike from Quantrill. Every day we get the press clips before each game sometime in the morning, and you know, about a third of it is just injury updates every day. You go from about page 2 to page 7, all injury updates. That's how much the Angels have missed this year with players that have gone down. And they've never made excuses for it. It's never been something that they've held up as a reason why their record is what it is. But you know, the Angels have lost more games to injuries than any team in the American League this year.
Remember last night he had that awkward swing and then he looked at his hand. That was the right hand last night. Today it's the left. Whether it's wrist, forearm, or hand. You see him made that move last night. I remember that on that swing last night after he hit that massive home run too on a changeup.
And for what it's worth, it won't affect Rengifo's hitting streak. Never got to take an at bat tonight. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes on Randall Grichuk. Little looper toward left over the shortstop's head. Arias couldn't reach it. And a base hit for Randall Grichuk as a pinch hitter. It's the first hit for the Angels tonight.
Just punch that ball out, especially with 2 strikes. I think if you look at this game here for the Angels tonight, especially with some of their key guys out of this lineup, you have to be aggressive running the bases. And Quantrill's always been a guy that's susceptible to a stolen base. You got to try to create some runs here. And the Guardians have had a tough time throwing at would-be base stealers also, so be aggressive here.
The Guardians have allowed 134 stolen bases as a team this year. They've only caught 26 would-be base stealers, so pretty high percentage of stolen bases allowed by the Guardians. David Fry is behind the plate tonight.
You see even that delivery by Quantrill. He's pretty slow to the plate. A higher leg kick, longer throwing motion. He's allowed 5 stolen bases in 6 attempts this season. He's got a pretty decent pickoff move with 4 pickoffs.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Moustakas. Opponent 6 for 8 against Fry. He has not caught much. They have Bo Naylor and Cam Gallagher doing most of the catching.
That was a pretty good pitch. Now he'll be on the move. That's a curveball right in the lower part of the strike zone there. You just keep that there as a catcher. A lot of experience for Fry behind the plate. But you just keep that there. You have a chance of getting that call.
Time called as Moustakas stepped out of the box, and now the home plate umpire trying to make sure that Quantrill has Moustakas' eyes on him. There's strike 3, so Quantrill gets a strikeout. That ends the bottom of the first.
Let's be real. You don't need to leave the house to have a tasty Italian meal. That's why I partnered with Home Chef. With Home Chef, get easy recipes and fresh ingredients delivered to your door. These tasty meals are from my heart to your kitchen. How good is that? Let's get cooking.
Home Chef. Delicious meets simple. Get 18 free meals when you sign up at homechef.com.
Why pay over $100 a month for cable when it's half the cost for Fubo TV? Get all the channels you want on the only live TV streaming service rated #1 in customer satisfaction by J.D. Power. Try free at FuboTV.com.
Sure, you'll teach her how to drive a car. Then use Greenlight to power her independence with crash detection with 911 dispatch, family location sharing, and emergency SOS alerts. Invest in your best investment with Greenlight.
With the Game Time app, I paid 60% less than this guy. What? And it's not just sports tickets. It's also concerts. Performances, too.
Oh, come on!
Download Game Time. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
As the former Angel plays for Cleveland tonight. Though he played here a lot last year for the Rangers. They didn't get around to it last year.
I'll tell you what, he's a fan favorite, a Gold Glove winner out in right field during his time with the Angels. And he's had too many hits against the Angels. The fans remember that already.
Yeah, he's actually done very well since leaving the Angels against the Angels.
Yeah, 321 with 6 home runs. You lose a lot of friends when you do that.
Yeah. He has the 3rd highest OPS in the major leagues against the Angels since he last played for them.
Still remember that outstanding throw he made at Dodger Stadium to finish off the game. It was a perfect throw to get Bellinger at the plate. His reaction with Trout out in the outfield was priceless.
Bouncing ball here. Schanuel dropped it, regained it quickly, and gets it to Diaz for the first down. So Calhoun's retired, and here's Erica Weston.
Guys, still waiting to hear on why Luis Rengifo departed tonight's game. We'll pass that along as soon as we know. As far as Shohei Otani is concerned, in case you missed it, he was out on the field before the game today, doing a little bit of agility, getting some light jogging in, some stretching. So we thought maybe there was a chance we see Shohei. Not the case tonight. Phil Nevin said we'll see how he feels tomorrow when he comes in, but he is moving around good. He didn't pick up a bat yesterday. He did swing one today. He said the swings were close, not close enough to start tonight, so they may ramp it up later if he's got a chance to pinch hit. He's close today, took those swings, feels better. He said, I think we're within a day or two, just not today.
Well, those obliques can be tricky, and you want to be as cautious as possible with anybody, especially Shohei.
Yes, especially how hard the Shohei swings the bat.
David Fry at the plate here with the count, no balls, 2 strikes. The good news is that it's not a strain, and it's not something that's going to keep Shohei out of there for the rest of the season. He should be back here at some point real soon to resume a historic year, an MVP year for Shohei Otani, and everybody would like to see him finish as strong as possible, get whatever numbers and records are there to be had between now and October 1st.
Still trying to get that club record for home runs. Troy Glaus has had for quite a few years now. Hit by a pitch on Fry on that one. Mentioned he comes inside quite a bit with his fastball, and Fry just turns in on that one.
Diaz hits Fry with a pitch. Here's Andres Jimenez. He almost got hit by the first one. Jimenez batting 7th. He's not had as good of a season this year offensively as he did last year. He got a pretty big contract from the Guardians after his performance last season. He strokes one the other way. That's a base hit for Jimenez. Fry will advance to third base, throw to second. Jimenez on his way in, and he is out.
That's a quick tag. Good throw from Grichuk, but a quick tag by Brandon Drury. He might look at that one to see if he got his hand in there, but that was a quick tag by Drury on that one. Right into the game for Grichuk. Had a base hit, now a good throw to second. It does look like they're going to challenge it. It looks like Phil Nevin's going down to the bullpen now. Good throw there for Grichuk. Great quick tag by Brandon Drury.
So even though Diaz has been stretched out as a starter at AAA, Phil Nevin taking him out after he faces just 7 batters here tonight. So we'll be back.
Listen to live Black Eye Free audio from every major league club.
And Aaron Judge with some thump.
Stream video of minor league games.
That's a go-ahead grand slam.
And watch the best baseball highlights and look-ins on MLB Big Inning. The all-new At Bat is your all-in-one live baseball subscription for only $3.99 per month.
There she goes. Home run, Pete Alonso.
Subscribe to At Bat within the MLB app today.
Hey kids, join MLB Network and your favorite players for a show made just for you. Play ball. It's all the big moments, bat flips, and amazing plays from an exciting week of baseball and tips to up your game on MLB Network.
Got a base hit now in the outfield, picks up an outfield assist, cuts out an off left center field, but then a perfect quick throw in there and a better even tag by Brandon Drury to get that out at second base. It's now his 41st outfield assist. Randall Grichuk, but a quick tag by Brandon Drury gets that out at second base. A big out. Just leave the man at third base. Menace thought he had a shot, and it's worth to take that gamble like that to go try to get in a scoring position with 2 base runners, but perfect throw for Grichuk.
So Jimenez caught trying to stretch that into a double, and now Andrew Wentz is on the mound. The Angels have Davis Daniel available in their bullpen today as well. Jaime Barria was placed on the IL with a hamstring injury, and Gerardo Reyes was sent back to AAA. So Daniel is on the roster. Diaz started, opened, or whatever, an inning and 2/3 from Jhonathan Diaz as Wentz gets a swing and miss from Gabriel Arias.
I think part of that too for Wentz, because he's been a guy that comes out of the bullpen with some traffic on there. Daniel will probably want to be out there in a clean inning situation, not have to go in there with someone on base already.
I'm sure part of it from the standpoint of the Angels is just to have availability beyond today as well. Chase Silseth making progress. This is essentially his spot in the starting rotation. By the time it rolls around again, it's possible that he could make that start, and some of these other guys can pitch in relief along the way. 1 ball 2 strikes still on Arias, the shortstop for the Guardians, a guy who they like a lot. Remember, they traded Ahmed Rosario to the Dodgers for Noah Syndergaard. Didn't get much use out of Syndergaard. He was DFA'd after only a few appearances for Cleveland. Really, they felt Rosario was expendable, a free agent coming up anyway, because they like Arias so much.
It's a good adjustment on that sweep with the one before for Wentz. That was out over the plate and elevated.
The Angels are saying that Rengifo left the game with a bicep strain. The high fly ball off the bat of Arias. And waiting for it is Cabbage to end the inning.
Covering a full night of baseball is a team effort, and it all starts right here with Harold and Adnan on MLB Tonight's First Pitch.
Who's ready for baseball?
It's time for the first pitch.
We're about 25 minutes from game time. I'm so excited.
Our quick hitters right out of the gate. During the games, we take you to the games where you might see a lot.
Greg, we have a potential walk-off at Wrigley.
No way. What's going on?
Oh, they've got a runner at third and Nico Horner's up.
Here's a pitch.
Base hit. Nico rocks it up. Cubs win.
Cubs win. And after the games, we're all about instant highlights and player reactions.
Nico, congratulations. Your first career walk-off hit. How did that one feel?
Oh, man, it's as good as it gets, and an amazing crowd here tonight. Wrigley Field is a very special place. We're feeling good right now, for sure.
And that's how this team covers every team, all in a night's work on MLB Tonight.
Sunday, on the next episode of MLB's Carded, join Greg Amsinger for a look at all things cardboard, from vintage to modern. We've got it covered. MLB's Carded, Sunday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network. MLB Tonight, the ultimate late-night baseball party. See the night's biggest moments, the best interviews.
We all love DJ Dan.
And cutting-edge analysis from TV's best.
This one takes the cake.
That is awesome.
MLB Tonight, late nights on MLB Network.
For the game today, going little 9-inch nails, little Cleveland band. We're in this together. Obviously, with some news here again today, but trying to fight and find a way to be able to pull off a W here tonight. So all in this together. It's got to be the hitting, it's got to be the defense, it's got to be the pitching, it's got to be the bullpen. We're all in this together. You know, to get that victory here today against the Guardians.
Eduardo Escobar with a count, no balls, 2 strikes. Mentioned the injury for Rengifo, a bicep strain, so I'm sure we'll hear more from Phil Nevin about that. Mickey Moniak, back tightness. He was scratched just really a few minutes before first pitch here tonight. Escobar hits that one well. Nice pick by a sliding Arias. Bounces the throw across. Naylor digs it out, and Escobar's retired, one away.
What a play that was from Arias to be able to backhand like that. The ball was hit well by Escobar. Stayed on. That's a tough hop. They were able to scoop that one. That's a changeup going away. Scoops that, quickly turns around, and looked like that was almost by design. Not that much of a hop for him, but it was looking like he was trying to get that over quicker on that hop.
It was a two-hopper to Naylor at first. As Gooby mentioned earlier, this is a very good Cleveland defense. And they try to do what they can with their pitching and their defense to win games. You know, at some point they're going to need to develop some hitting. That's part of the reason why they like Bo Naylor, Josh's brother. Swing and a miss by Cabbage as he strikes out on 3 pitches.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why they won last year. Their pitching was so good, but their defense, Gold Glovers, they can make some plays defensively.
You know, Oscar Gonzalez was a big offensive player for them last year. He took a step back, a big step back this year. He provided pretty much nothing offensively for them this season. Chad Wallach swings and misses. Rosario wasn't having as good of a year as he did last year. As Wallach pops this up, Jimenez is right there. And a 1-2-3 bottom of the second for Cal Quantrill.
Imagine an entire channel dedicated to taking you to the most exciting moments in baseball as they happen.
And it's gone!
With live look-ins to clutch at-bats.
A walk-off slam!
And players on the edge of making history.
This could be it! 62!
It's the best seat in the house at every ballpark. All commercial-free.
Can you believe it?
MLB Network Strike Zone. Wednesdays and Fridays, all season long. This is Garrett Cole. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Garrett Cole plays hard, so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
Covering a full night of baseball is a team effort. From the first pitch,
let's go to the ballpark,
to live look-ins and post-game reactions.
Tell us how this one feels.
That's how this team covers every team on MLB Tonight.
As we are joined here in the booth by Garrett Anderson. What's up, GA?
What's up? How you been?
Seen you in a while.
It's been a minute. I think 7 weeks to something like that.
Oh, it's always great to have GA in the booth here with us.
I appreciate it.
Miles Straw leads off the top of the third against Andrew Wentz. Wentz in relief. Jhonathan Diaz was the opener for the Angels tonight. Worked an inning in 2/3.
Yeah, how hard would this be as a hitter when you're facing, like when you see these openers, these so many different pitchers during the course of a game?
It's got to be tough. I mean, a lot of that was starting to happen toward the end of my career, getting real specialized, and you would probably only see the starter maybe twice.
Yeah.
And then for the rest of the game, you're seeing matchups and, you know, left, right. It was a little difficult because you really couldn't get any kind of feel for them because you didn't see them very often.
Stephen Kwan bats with 1 out here in the third. We saw Luis Rengifo leave this game with an injury, which is another unfortunate occurrence. for the Angels because Rengifo's been a huge bright spot in the second half. Phil Nevin made mention the other day how Rengifo has really clicked, as he put it, with Marcus Timms. What can that hitting coach and hitter relationship be like when things are working?
Very good. I mean, what's really going on is that they're both talking the same language. Personalities may be different or whatnot, but if you're talking the same thing and everybody's understanding what's going on, then yes, you're gonna. When you have some success, you can always go back to just the lines of communication that are open. It's really central between player and coach.
Yeah, you mentioned that. You talked about that on the pregame show. What you saw last year from Rengifo, an outstanding season when he had 17 home runs, career high, and then this season, you're basically came down to he's seeing more pitches, he's playing more often. That allows him, especially on off-speed pitches and all the pitches he's seeing.
You know, in the first year, you can make your way around the league and people not know you. And he had a lot of success last year, unfortunate with the injuries. But again, this year, a lot of injuries, and he's able to get in there and play. So the second time around, they know who you are. You're not sneaking up on them. So it's just the work that he's putting in and just being very consistent. And like you said, the bright spot is he's seeing more pitches and getting more walks. So therefore, he's being a little bit more difficult to pitch to.
And there's sometimes a thought amongst fans that, well, these are major league hitters. It's sometimes very good major league hitters. So what does a hitting coach do? What does a hitting coach even have to say to a guy who is a great major league hitter as Quan flies out to left?
Well, I had an interesting relationship with Mickey Hatcher. I mean, he was our hitting coach, but it was more along the lines of, with me, it was just he'd come to me and say, "Hey, Garrett, you're not doing this anymore." He was a video guy, so he would go look at video. I wasn't a big video guy, and say, "Hey, you got to go do this and this and this, and he'll get you back on track." So that was the extent of our relationship. It wasn't approach, it wasn't situational, because at that point I pretty much had an idea how to hit. So he just kept me, basically on track every day.
Sounds like you outgrew the hitting coach.
Well, and I did say this on the pregame show. Rod Carew told me when I was a young player, he said at some point you're going to have to be your own coach. I'm not going to be here, your whole career. And he was right. He was gone in like 3 or 4 years. So during that time, I picked his brain over and over in many different situations and learned how to hit from him. And I know he was a different hitter from what I was, but still, nonetheless, hitting is hitting.
Pretty good hitter right there. Jose Ramirez has a 2-out double. That's kind of the point. Jose Ramirez, what's a hitting coach going to tell that guy? Well, you had a pretty good one, though, and a Hall of Famer, a guy with over 3,000 career hits. I mean, when it comes to a young hitter, you pick Rod Carew out of a pile of hitting coaches. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, it's your worst one. They must have dig pretty deep in the crates to get that microfiche or something. Yeah. But no, it was at the time I really didn't get too caught up in that it was Rod Carew, because he was just such a proponent of work, so there was no time for any of that.
I remember all those conversations. I sit there and listen to you guys talk. He said, everyone says, when is GA going to show the power? When is he going to hit home runs? And he said, I'm not worried about that. That's going to develop. But he drives and runs. He's driving in 90 runs every single season, 90 plus, hitting the ball left center, right center, just doing a lot of damage to pitches he sees.
And I actually learned how to hit in the minor leagues because I was such a young player. I was, blessed with great hands, so I was overmatched, velocity-wise from out of high school. So I was hitting the ball to left field, not trying to hit the ball. I was just late. So it actually taught me to be a better hitter, and as I got older, I went around the field. So, yeah, I wasn't concerned about hitting for power, because, back in the olden days, you had to hit to get up here. So I had to literally hit my way up here. So I proved myself to be a good hitter. Not a high on base percentage guy, but I could hit. So the power came when we had George Hendrick as a coach in '98. And we talked a little bit about hitting, and he finally came to me one day and said, if you take another fastball in the zone with a man in scoring position, we're going to have a problem. So that's when my numbers started to rise in power, because I started hunting fastballs, not just looking for them, but I actually hunted fastballs.
Yeah, but we were talking about that a little bit in the pregame show, how when pitchers have runners in scoring position, you're not going to get a lot of fastballs. So you got to be ready to hit that one, maybe fastball you're going to see.
Yeah, once you get a fastball in the zone, the bat becomes very difficult. And I learned that by watching Edgar Martinez and Frank Thomas. These guys took a lot of pitches, but if there was a runner in scoring position and you threw them a strike, it didn't matter what it was, they let it fly. Yeah. So you're not going to get too many pitches after that.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Laureano. Josh Naylor was intentionally walked after the double by Ramirez. Laureano fights that one off.
It's a couple sweepers for Wentz. He's left upstairs so far. You want to make sure you keep that one down. That's that pitch. It becomes a problem. That sweeper that goes right to that barrel of the bat.
Wentz has been back and forth all year between AAA and the big leagues. Laureano continues to foul pitches off. Wentz throwing a lot of strikes here early on in his appearance. His appearance might be over soon, as Davis Daniel, who was added to the roster today, is warming up in the Angels bullpen. Three balls, 2 strikes, so the runners will get a head start.
And these counts here, especially with the runners going right now, did you always, were you still looking and sitting fastball here?
Yeah, I didn't wait off that too often. I mean, I know they weren't crazy about throwing fastballs to me, but I could handle.
That's in there, strike 3 called.
Dude, that's that breakable. I know I'd be throwing you a 3-2 breakable, G.
Lance went to the sweeper and gets out of the inning.
This is Mookie Betts. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Mookie Betts plays hard, so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
Came to an end, a 3-2 sweeper to Ramon Laureano that throws him for strike 3.
And that's why I was asking that, GA. So often now, especially in this day and age of baseball with their spin and everything up there, 3-2 count, you can almost never think a fastball was coming.
I still would look for it. I find it easier to adjust down, and as a hitter, I could not stomach taking a fastball 3-2 down the middle. That means I'm not ready to hit. So I'd rather do that, or I'd rather, foul it off or hit a ground ball, but you're not going to get that fastball by me.
Brett Phillips leads off here in the bottom of the 3rd, and Kyron Paris, then Schanuel, a couple of the young Angels players that have gotten to debut over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that conversation when Schanuel comes into play. What you see from him, GA, because the same thing. When is he going to develop power? It's going to be. He hit some home runs, obviously, in college, and it will come around at some point.
Phillips swings and misses, and that's strike 3. 3rd strikeout for Quantrill tonight to bring up Kyron Paris. How valuable is this sort of experience for a young player at the end of a season?
I never, fortunately, had the chance to do it when I was called up. It was in the middle of the summer, so kind of the same thing. It's important to get up here and play and see how you stack up against your peers. So when you do go down and when you come back, you feel like you've already been here. So my first big league camp, '94, I was a little nervous going into camp, but I took the opportunity to showcase what I could do, and had a really good spring that year. So good that I got sent out earlier than I was supposed to. Chili came to me. I was playing some A games because some guys were hurt, and he said, "You're doing too well." I was 7 for 17 in A games, and sure enough, on a Monday morning, they were traveling to Peoria, And I wasn't in the line. I wasn't traveling. I'm like, sweet. As soon as I could sit down, they're like, the manager wants to talk to you. And I was gone.
That was the whole thing. They've never called you in and say, hey, you made the team.
No.
No, you're going down.
So when I got recalled during the summer, it seemed like I just left spring training. So I was really comfortable.
Because remember, there was a time where you were rewarded if you had a good minor league season for guys to come up there just to get acclimated to the major league life, being around the guys, watching the game on the field. You don't see that as much anymore, but now we're seeing guys get drafted into the big leagues in 5 seconds. So
yeah, I mean, it was a reward. Unfortunately, I didn't get that reward in '94 because the strike happened that year. But yeah, the game's changed. Guys are getting to the big leagues a lot faster, and rightfully so. Some of them are ready. They don't need to go into minor leagues for 2 or 3 years. So,
what do you think players gain or lose from not having as much minor league experience to come up?
In my opinion, I think it's the high school kids that suffer the most with being rushed through the system. At least in college, you get 3 years of some kind of structure. You get to learn and make mistakes when nobody's watching. But as a high schooler like I was happy that I spent the 4 years that I spent and not being rushed, because I made a lot of mistakes during that time. And when I got to the big leagues, I knew I belonged up here. It wasn't a matter of thinking. I knew it was just a matter of time when I was going to get my turn. So
yeah, how did you gain your confidence so you knew in the batter's box? Was it all those at bats you got in the minor league level?
Definitely. I mean, it's probably 1,300 at bats, and the first half weren't very good. They just weren't very good at bats. And as time goes on, and I had some good minor league coaches in Gene Richards, Lynn Sakata. They helped me to learn how to have a routine before the game, get my work in, more importantly. And that's when I just started to develop and grow. And then the 2 years I had.
Paris running, and he gets to second base with a head-first dive, a steal for Kyron Paris, his second of the year.
And the 2 years I had at AAA, it just was really beneficial. And that's when I really grew as a ball player. So when I got recalled in '94 and '95, I hit the ground running.
And that's the thing for hitters. I mean, it's just the confidence. If you don't have confidence up there, you would think that guy on the mound is going to get me out every time. There's no way you're going to hit.
Yeah, I mean, my first 2 years, I didn't even have an approach to hitting. When somebody asked me, what was your approach? I had no idea what they were talking about. I eventually figured it out. But
how do you evaluate Schanuel so far?
Just what little sample I've seen of him, he just has really good hand-eye coordination. As far as making the adjustment, I mean, he just started swinging a wood bat. I mean, that's a huge jump. I know the bats that they hit in college now aren't that good, but the adjustment of coming to the big leagues not knowing anybody, but just putting the ball in play is generally a bright spot for a young player.
Strikes out here, rare strikeout for Schanuel,
especially on a non-strike, because he controls the strike zone so well.
Brandon Drury is the batter. Interesting note there that he's never homered against Cleveland. Only the Guardians and the Mariners have been able to keep Drury in the ballpark in his career. He's hit 20 homers this year. That's one to the backstop.
Just a bit high.
Paris goes to third on a very wild pitch. Making Ricky Vaughn proud of that one.
Yeah, if you're going to have a wild pitch, you might as well make it worth it. I know it made it all the way back to the backstop in the air too.
And Statcast couldn't find it anymore.
Maybe that was just a little sample of maybe needing something to be able to hold on to the ball, right?
Yeah. Or was he just trying to change eye level there to a certain degree?
Drury trying to dump one into shallow right. Naylor goes out and makes the catch as the Angels leave Paris at third.
MLB Tonight, the ultimate late-night baseball party.
Oh, man.
With live look-ins to the night's biggest moments.
How hot was that?
That's mine.
What?
The best interviews.
I've never asked a player, do you need a blanket? It is kind of cold out there.
And cutting-edge analysis from TV's best former players fresh off the field.
Get your hands up.
There's nothing quite like MLB Tonight.
This is going to be a big deal tonight.
This one takes the cake. That is awesome.
MLB Tonight. Late nights on MLB Network. This is Garrett Cole. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Garrett Cole plays hard, so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
It's Ducks night at the Big A tomorrow. September 8th, the Angels take on the Guardians. And the first 25,000 fans will receive a Mike Trout hockey jersey. Courtesy of Bally Sports West. For more info, Angels.
Wait a minute,
.com/promotions. Just see the look on GA's face when he heard the.
There, looking for the duck.
Yeah. Andrew Wentz taping the stick. Look at Canning too. Randall Gritchie, by the way, he did that in like in 10 seconds.
Yeah, well, it was a little sloppy, Gritchik.
But Hoppy was like, he's ready on that one.
Hoppy nailed it. He had the best wrap job of the stick.
He said he was going to go to Madison Square Garden pretty soon and watch a Ranger game.
Yeah, well,
I'd say
why wouldn't you?
Friends no longer after that.
Oh, okay. Well, that happens. This is the Major League debut for Davis Daniel as he faces Cole Calhoun here in the top of the 4th inning. Daniel had some shoulder issues that delayed him in the early part of the year. He has not pitched above A ball this season, but he has in the past.
His fastball is 93, 96 with a curveball, slider, and a changeup. So far, it's always that tough one, that first batter you face. Trust me on that one. I think I was about the same thing against Brett Butler. I think I walked him on 4 pitches.
And that's what happens to Calhoun for Daniel, who only had 5 walks with 37 strikeouts in the minor leagues this year. He's generally been around the plate most of his pro career. Angels drafted Davis Daniel in the 7th round in 2019 out of Auburn University. He's from the Southeast. He was born in Atlanta, went to high school in Montgomery, Alabama, before settling at Auburn.
That's a pretty good players out of Auburn on the baseball side, I think. It's one Frank Thomas.
One that could run up the wall after he catches the ball.
And run through the tunnel after he scored a touchdown, too, up in Seattle forever.
Frank Thomas, Bo Jackson played ball at Auburn. Bo played 2 sports at Auburn. Tim Hudson had a pretty good major league career out of Auburn as well. Fry lifts one toward the right field line. Long run after it is Cabbage moving toward the line. He can't reach it. A sliding effort. And it's going to be an automatic double as that ball bounces into the crowd. So Calhoun ends up at 3rd. And it's a double the other way for Fry.
That was real close to that line.
Cabbage almost got there.
Just inside the chalk. Thought it almost deflected off because it would have made an even more difficult call for an umpire because with the Cabbage sliding there if it was going to be fair or foul.
There's a good curveball from Daniel. And that gets ahead of Andres Jimenez, who had a base hit his last time, was thrown out at 2nd, trying to stretch it into a double.
So curveball and changeup so far. You're going right to your point with a runner in scoring position. You're not going to see many fastballs.
He took the first pitch strike, and it was a good curveball to hit.
Really good in those 4 starts this season. ERA well under 2.
2nd and 3rd, nobody out for Daniel here in his first big league inning. It's Jimenez to pop that one foul. Rusty and Lucy Daniel, the parents of Davis Daniel, are in the ballpark tonight. Some other family members as well. Mom looks like a nervous wreck.
Oh, yes.
Into the Cleveland dugout. That ball was foul. Daniel is the 64th different player the Angels have used this year. It's 2 off the franchise record 66 that they set last year. It's tied for the most in the major leagues this year with the Reds, who've had to use some extra players just in the last week due to a COVID issue that they have had in Cincinnati. Jimenez slips one towards shallow left center. Phillips has a great arm. He makes the catch. Here comes the runner from third. He goes right back as Phillips fires one home.
We've seen that throw over the years for Phillips. That first official out now. And he got behind that baseball really well. GA, when we always talk about that, get behind the baseball, how is that something you got worked on too, or all just instincts when it comes to that?
Definitely learned in the minor leagues for sure. I mean, in high school, you get by on your talent, but you know they teach you newer things when you get. But yeah, getting behind the baseball is everything. And even as a base runner, when I'd watch an outfielder field about fly ball, if I saw him standing on both feet, not trying to get behind, I knew I had a chance to score. Like on a play like that, if he would have just been standing still, I probably would have tried it.
Gabriel Arias, the batter now. 2 balls, no strikes. A walk and a double to start the night for Davis Daniel in his major league debut. Jimenez on that shallow fly ball, now trying to work through the bottom of Cleveland's order. Arias has hit just .218 entering today's play. Daniel gets the fastball over for a strike. 94 on that fastball from Daniel.
Well, most times when you see a guy with a big curveball like that, he's going to throw a 4-seam fastball, so it's going to be straight over the top. I see you smiling on that one there, GA.
I don't know how he let it go.
Because then you go after a breaking ball now. Now you're in trouble.
You're in trouble now.
Now, what do you go with your strikeout pitch right now for Daniel?
He can pretty much throw anything at this time.
Fastball away, and it's a full count.
Another fastball on him.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Daniel didn't make his pro debut for the Angels until 2021. He was recovering from Tommy John surgery when the Angels drafted him. Swing and a miss. First big league strikeout for Davis Daniel. And it's a big one, the second out of the inning with men in scoring position.
To keep that one. Big strikeout. He's back upstairs with another 4-seam fastball. Loving that reaction.
So Daniel trying to get through the inning unscathed after allowing men on second and third with nobody out. He faces Miles Straw. There's ball 1 to Straw, who bounced out to the pitcher his first time. Straw has the lowest slugging percentage in the major leagues this year, is at .296.
A lot of speed at the plate, though, so you're forced to defense on a ground ball. You're going to have to charge the baseball against them.
Two balls and a strike. Stephen Kwan, a much better offensive option for Cleveland, on deck. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Chance to get through this now. No damage done. He's that perfect pitch here now.
Straw was late, but able to fight it off. A walk and a double to start the inning. Daniel has gotten the next 2 out. And he's still working on Straw. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 27 pitches here in the inning for Davis Daniel.
Got away with that slider there. You know, he's got some really good spin rate on his slider so far, but that one upstairs.
Straw with a fly ball toward right. Cabbage moves over. He makes the catch. And Davis Daniel survives a scoring opportunity for the Guardians in his first major league inning.
We love going to games, but good seats get pricey. So we use Game Time. Game Time checks ticket prices in real time and finds you all the best last-minute deals. We got our seats 20 minutes ago for 60% off. Last-minute tickets at the best price in seconds. Download Game Time now.
Prescription eyewear can be really expensive, but here's a secret. Glasses don't actually cost that much to make. Surprise! Especially when you design your own eyewear and then sell it directly to your customers. Like we do. Oh hi, we're Warby Parker. Our glasses start at $95, including prescription lenses. And the best part? You can try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
ED is difficult for me and for my partner. Through HIMS, I can message a licensed provider about clinically proven ED treatments. Like the generic form of Viagra, which can cost 90% less than the brand name version. Then HIMS ships discreetly to my door for free. I never knew it could be this easy to get my confidence back. Now we can both count on a great experience every time. Start your free visit today at forhims.com.
Played with Shohei Otani not playing the last few days. He's lost some ground in the home run race. Matt Olson has been hitting home runs over the last few days, now 47 to lead the major leagues. Shohei is still comfortably ahead of Luis Robert for the American League lead. And we hope to see Shohei in the next day or two as he tries to overcome the oblique tightness that he suffered before the game on Monday against Baltimore. 1 ball, 1 strike on Randall Grichuk. You ever have any kind of oblique tightness or injury in that spot in your career?
No, I mean, I didn't take a violent swing like he does. No, I was pretty much a hands hitter, but no, it's never had anything like that whatsoever.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Grichuk.
Even when you think about it, we were talking about that on the pregame show, the swings he had in this batting practice session. I mean, they were like he was trying to hit that ball, you mentioned, completely out of the stadium. He almost did a few times.
Yeah, it did look like he was trying to hit it out of the stadium. It definitely was a show.
Well, Garrett Anderson's swing was very smooth. He was in the big leagues during all those games played in an Angels uniform. Nothing to it.
Lefty, right, it doesn't matter, huh?
Once again, they had to go find the VHS tapes. Dig deep in the crates.
I think some of those were on Laserdisc, actually.
Yeah.
A base hit for Moustakas as he's on with 1 out.
I have seen that injury in several players in my career playing, so hopefully it's not what I've seen in the past, because that's generally, you're pretty much done. I mean, it's just hard to recover from that, to be able to have that kind of torque on your core.
Escobar drives one out towards center field, but Miles Straw able to make the catch. Two outs, and the batter will be Cabbage.
Yeah, you wonder what kind of adjustment Shohei might make on that swing, especially his first one coming back. If he comes back in the next few days on the swing, because it feels like that's what part of his game is going to have, that same type of swing no matter what.
And it has to be in the back of your mind, because it's still so fresh. So, you know, if he does come back, it'll just be adding to the legend of Shohei.
Yeah.
The unicorn that he is.
Yeah, so true. And you know, if he comes back, his first at bat, he'll probably hit one like 470 feet.
I wonder if there will be any freshness to Shohei, having not played for a few days. He missed only 2 games all year until this stretch of games this week. Cabbage, a little bouncer foul.
Gia, you were a guy that prided yourself playing every day. Can you imagine trying to do the stuff he has been doing over his last 3 seasons, pitching and playing every day?
No, I couldn't imagine doing that. My hands are full enough playing defense and hitting, and then you know, you throw the element of pitching. And I don't know what it takes to pitch every 5 days, but I know the work that pitchers put in between starts, and it's a lot. And to be able to, the thing that's impressive to me is how he's able to keep his legs, because he's on them every day. I know he DHs, but still he's running, and he runs hard. He tries to take the extra base hit, and he steals bases.
There's a Garrett Anderson swing going the other way for Trey Cabbage, a base hit. They would never have shifted you like that, though.
They did try.
They did?
There was a time they did try, and the story goes, we were here in Anaheim, and Derek Lowe was pitching, and they took Garcia Parra and put him on the other side. First pitch he throws, I hit a ground ball to shortstop, and I ended up getting a double. I'm laughing as I'm running down the line. As Garcia Parra walks past me, he said, "I told them you would do that."
Well, that sounded pretty foolish.
Those are the kind of hits that really make a pitcher feel good, don't you think?
Turn around and you see nobody at shortstop.
Yeah, like, oh, okay, I got the ground. No.
Whose idea was that? Grady Little?
Probably. I remember one night we were in Toronto and they did that to Percival. They moved the shortstop and they didn't tell him.
Yeah.
And somebody ended up getting a base hit, and Percival and Bud Black argued all the way into the clubhouse, all the way into the back, because no one told Percy there was not going to be anybody at shortstop.
Oh, I can only imagine with Percy.
3 balls, no strikes on Wallach.
Do you like swinging 3-0?
No, not particularly. With runners in scoring position, I probably would. And the reason why I don't like it is because generally if you get to 3-0, you really haven't had anything to look at. So I wouldn't take a chance.
Well, Wallach did, and he bounces out to end the 4th. Garrett Anderson, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Why pay over $100 a month for cable when it's half the cost for Fubo TV? Get all the channels you want on the only live TV streaming service rated #1 in customer satisfaction by J.D. Power. Try free at FuboTV.com.
Sure, you'll teach her to drive a car, then use Greenlight and teach her to save up for her own car. Mowing lawns and getting paid. Navigate the world of earning, saving, and investing together. Invest in your best investment. Greenlight.
Abuelita, my father, my whole family, and Grand Canyon University made me the man I am today. Hi, Tia. I think I'm gonna do Grand Canyon University's online program and get my master's degree.
Trata de llevar a tu familia en el corazón y lograrás lo que tú quieres. Estoy muy orgullosa de ti.
I have an announcement soon, so I'm going to get my master's degree online at Grand Canyon University.
Find your purpose at GCU.
It's all about putting in the work. I prepare the same way
for the long haul. Tono gives you all those stats to be able to say, how can I continue to get better? And it starts to challenge you, like, okay, you've done this, but now let's challenge you. Let's do this now. It's all about just training your mind, training your body, training your spirit to be as great as you can. Tono, be your strongest.
Special night tonight here in Anaheim as the Angels are recognizing Childhood Cancer Awareness tonight at the ballpark. The team gave away about 100 tickets to patients and staff, families of Miller Children's and Women's Hospital in Long Beach. That's who I'm sitting with right now. I'm grouped with all of them here in attendance tonight at the Angels game. The Angels also donated $20,000 to the hospital, to their cause for pediatric cancer research and development. It was a special cause for a lot of the Angels players earlier before the game today. You saw Logan O'Hoppe, Nolan, Schanuel, the two of them were spending some time at the hospital earlier today. That's the 4th time the Angels have visited the hospital down in Long Beach. They also were part of that check presentation before the game tonight. So a special night for the Angels, and as they welcome members of the hospital, recognizing Childhood Cancer Awareness, a cause very close to a couple of the Halos players' hearts. Guys.
Logan O'Hoppe and Nolan Schanuel visiting Miller Children's Hospital today.
And it's so important to be able to be there just to share some time. Going through some tough times like that and be able to be around them and just put a smile on their face.
Two balls, two strikes on Quan, leading off here in the top of the 5th inning. Still scoreless. Davis Daniel got into some hot water in the top of the 4th inning, but was able to work out of it. Got Jimenez to fly out to shallow center, struck out Arias, and then Miles Straw flied out. A little tapper from Quan. He has very good speed, and Escobar will not be able to get him at first. So leadoff infield hit, and a quick word from Kia. Quan, a good base runner. He's aboard. 18 steals in 20 tries this year for the Guardians leadoff batter. There's Jose Ramirez, 1 for 2 with a double. That's a rocket foul.
That's a pretty healthy hack, especially when you haven't seen anybody before on the mound. He was ready. Saw enough pitches that last inning because Davis Daniel did a real nice job finding a way to get through that inning. No panic. I'd love to see that, especially for a young pitcher and making his debut. He showed some poise out there, but Ramirez was going to be ready on that first pitch and just pulled it foul.
So 106 off the bat sounded louder than that. There's a drive out toward left center field. Grichuk gets a good jump. He's able to make the play to retire Ramirez. So 1 out. The batter will be Josh Naylor, who has walked twice so far, last time intentionally. And hard not to look at Jose Ramirez now and not think about him decking Tim Anderson in that game against the White Sox earlier in the year.
Yeah, that's for sure.
The great radio voice of the Guardians, Tom Hamilton, did not make the trip. There's a ball that is fielded by Drury on a hop, and that's going to be a double play to end the inning. Drury allowed that ball to get a little deeper on him and turns a 4-6-3 inning-ending double play.
Games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network.
Listen to live Black Ad-free audio from every major league club.
And Aaron Judge with some thump.
Stream video minor league games.
That's a go-ahead grand slam.
And watch the best baseball highlights and look-ins on MLB Big Inning. The all-new At Bat is your all-in-one live baseball subscription for only $3.99 per month.
There she goes. Home run, Pete Alonso.
Subscribe to At Bat within the MLB app today.
This is Garrett Cole. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Garrett Cole plays hard, so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network. This is Mookie Betts. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Mookie Betts plays hard, so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
Highlighted Brandon Drury, how good he's been at second base. He lets that baseball land and drop in front of the dirt to be able to end up turning a 4-6-3 double play, a heads-up play, because you can see where the base runner was. You got to freeze because that's going to be on the line. He's going to get that easy out of second, complete a 4-6-3 double play.
Fly ball hit well by Brett Phillips out toward right center field. Straws at the wall and makes the catch. Right up against the fence as Phillips gave that one a ride, but that's the first out.
Well, Straw can cover some ground. He's another Gold Glover out there himself in center field. He's under control right towards the wall. Get that just in front of it. Good swing for Brett Phillips. But going back to that double play, Brandon Drury's just been outstanding at second base. Because you never know what kind of a hop you're going to get there too. But he was confident he was able to get his hands down there because both base runners are freezing on that one and completed a double play.
It's not an easy thought process to go through either, as that ball is in motion and coming toward Drury. It wasn't hit that hard by Naylor. Kind of a softer line drive, but still a ball that was hit fairly hard, and Drury able to have the presence in mind there to slow the play down himself.
And sometimes, especially when all the infielders walking around there, the cleat marks, you never know what kind of a bounce you're going to take, but he was really under control in that one.
Jose Ramirez gobbles that one up, throws high, and Paris is safe. That'll be an error on Ramirez at third.
It happened too often with Jose Ramirez.
This is his 13th error this season.
Already a stolen base in this game for Kyrie Paris. I think KP's going to think about going here again.
Might as well. Again, the Guardians have allowed a lot of steals this year. 133 they've given up. Includes the one for Paris earlier. Runner going, and throw to second, not in time. Another stolen base for Paris.
And you know what, Wayne, he didn't get a great jump there, but that's that speed he has to be able to get in there. That's second stolen base, third of his career, second tonight. He just turned on the afterburners and slides in there, getting in the scoring position for Schanuel. Get that hand in there and keeps that hand on the base. Impressive speed.
Now base hit could give the Angels the lead as Schanuel fouls one off.
Trying to add on to that, consecutive games reaching base to start his career. They'll tie with Darren Erstad today. 15 next time. He gets a base hit here, gets on base, he'll pass Ersty.
Trying to make it 16 in a row. Be timely in this scenario as well. With
remember, unusual last at bat, he chased a high fastball. Quantrill got him to chase and he struck him out. First at bat hit a ball pretty well to left center field. Quan was able to run down.
Able to stay alive there.
A splitter. About 5% splitter usage. Also throws a changeup, about 12%.
Only the White Sox have allowed more stolen bases this year than the Guardians have. Kyron Paris has swiped 2 tonight. He's in scoring position.
Tried to get him to chase that fastball upstairs again. This time was able to lay off it.
It's been 6 years since an Angels rookie has stolen 2 bases in a game. Cesar Puello was the last to do it. Schanuel strikes out for the 2nd time in this game. So 2 down, and that'll bring up Drury. Drury with a 5th best OPS among American leaguers at home this year. Shohei number 2 on that list. Corey Seager's had a great year, leading the way in the American League.
Garcia is going to be on the IL for a bit now for the Rangers.
And the Rangers are in a little bit of trouble. Brandon Drury goes after the first pitch, grounds it to short. As that ends the inning, still 0-0.
This is Mookie Betts. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Mookie Betts plays hard, so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
It's like got him, it stays fair.
Baseball's biggest moments are live on MLB Big Inning. MLB.tv's nightly show takes you from game to game for all the grand slams, no-hitters, walk-offs, and more as they happen.
Wow, he can do it all!
Don't miss the ultimate baseball highlight reel.
This is some kind of awesome.
After your game ends, the action's just heating up on MLB Big Inning. Every night on MLB.tv.
This is Garrett Cole. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Garrett Cole plays hard, so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
Halos take on the Tigers at 6:30. First 25,000 fans will receive a Mike Trout Silver Slugger bobblehead, courtesy of angels.ocnavigator.org. Visit angels.com/promotions. First pitch strike from Davis Daniel. Tapper to third. That's a foul ball. Snowballs 2 strikes on Laureano. What are your first impressions on Daniel?
I just love his poise so far. His fastball has been very, very impressive. His curveball's been in there, slider, changeup. And I just love the fact that did not get phased at all after having to deal with a couple runners in scoring position before you even record your first major league out. Spotting his fastball good. It's got some ride to it. Real good spin on his slider too.
I've seen Daniel sooner had he been healthier this year. 26-year-old. And a lot of issues with his shoulder through most of the season. Didn't get a chance to even get into a game of any kind until early in the last month. And Daniel was at AAA last year at a 4.49 ERA at Salt Lake City. He's been known as a strike thrower in the Angels system, and outside of walking the first batter he ever faced in the big leagues on 4 pitches, he's been around the plate. Well, you said that's normal anyway.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Against Cleveland also back first start. Brett Butler.
2 balls 2 strikes on Laureano.
That's a good pitch. Just a little off the inside corner because he's looking away.
There's a walk, the second issued by Daniels, so Laureano is on to begin the 6th inning. Ramon Laureano has certainly shown off that incredible arm many times against the Angels. That throw was ridiculous.
That was for the warning track. And then bringing back some home run balls too over the years. Quite a few of them.
One robbing Anthony Rendon. There's a wild pitch as Laureano goes to second base. So a walk at a wild pitch now for Daniel in his 3rd inning of work. Wallach just flat out missed it.
That was a changeup. Just pulled it. You have first base open here, so you don't want to give in. Especially the success that Cole Calhoun has had against his former team.
2 balls no strikes on Calhoun. Walked his last time. As we've talked about, and as you probably know, the Guardians have not hit much. Fewest homers in the majors, and a team that lacks slug and runs. It's Calhoun to a fly ball toward the right field line. Long run. And Schanuel unable to catch up to it. 2 balls 2 strikes on Calhoun, and here's Hyundai.
We won twice. The Hyundai Ioniq 5 and Ioniq 6.
Calhoun had some nice years with the Angels. He won a Gold Glove for them in 2015. Rolls this one over toward first. Right at the bag is Schanuel. It does move Laureano to 3rd, so 1 away here in the 6th.
That now will force the infield in for the Angels.
And this game's starting to get a little bit late. No score in this one. The Guardians have had more pressure from an offensive standpoint, but they've left 6 men on base, including having 2nd and 3rd, nobody out in the 4th inning. Rounded to 3rd. This won't get the run home. Escobar throws out Fry.
And showing that poise, making a good pitch. Curveball down. Younger hitter being aggressive and chasing something out of the zone. Big out for Davis Daniel.
So now Andres Jimenez will bat with 2 away. Jimenez has a base hit. He flied out with runners on 2nd and 3rd as last time. A strike from Daniel. He's thrown 52 pitches now in this one. Most of those were in his first inning of work.
A couple times now with his changeup, the left-handed batters is on the glove side, has pulled that, not in front with it. Overall, pretty good stuff working.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Andres Jimenez. Daniel's last appearance was for Inland Empire. He had 10 strikeouts in that game through 92 pitches. He's pretty much stretched out for a long-range outing here.
That's a nice adjustment on that changeup after the one before. He came back with a better one.
Jimenez fouls that one off his foot.
So after a slow curveball, there's a 4-seam fastball, 94, late on it.
Daniel trying to work around a leadoff walk here in the 6th inning. Jimenez spoils another, so it's still 2 balls, 2 strikes on Jimenez. He came over to the Guardians from the Mets. A trade that sent Francisco Lindor to New York. Jimenez had a great year last year, almost as good a year as Lindor did. He was 6th in the American League in MVP voting last year. It's not turned out quite that way this year. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
I still think if you're Daniel there, you don't have to necessarily throw a strike here. See if you can get him to expand and swing at a non-strike. You have an open base. Good pitch there. Good curveball.
Jimenez continues to foul pitches off. He will strike out from time to time. He has punched out 99 times this year. On 3-2. That is ball 4. Just missed above the strike zone.
I thought he was going to call that a strike. He was stepping back. It's a little bit up the strike zone. He was going back, and nah, I'm not going to call that one.
Jimenez only about 5'10", 5'11", so that might have saved him in strike 3 there. As Matt Wise goes to the mound. The Daniel family not happy with that.
There's also some defensive strategy here too. Jimenez runs really well. Laureano with good speed at third base. Where you throw, I think for me, you know, if they decide to go, you have that fake throw to second, quick throw to third.
Gabriel Arias, the batter, he is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Arias was originally in the Padres organization. He was part of that big trade that involved Mike Clevenger going to San Diego. Swings and misses here on a high fastball. It's 0-2.
Spot on that one there. 4-seam fastball above the zone. As a hitter, you think you can see that, read that well. It's going to be by upstairs.
The Guardians got Arias, Quantrill, Josh Naylor in that trade. Jimenez runs, and Arias fouls that one off.
Again, they're going through the series of signs, what they're going to do there. I do not think Chad Wallach will throw this one through the second base. Over the speed of Laureano at third, too.
And it's still 0-2 on the shortstop area. So now Jimenez will go to second base on that ball in the dirt. He was running with the pitch. So that'll be a steal for Jimenez.
26th season.
Two balls, two strikes now on Arias. As Daniel again loads up on the number of pitches. He's thrown 65, having just entered in the fourth inning. Hasn't cracked yet. Guardians are threatening again. And Arias with a ground ball to short, handled by Kyron Paris. Good throw, and that ends the inning as Davis Daniel tap dances around some trouble again.
Quick Pitch has you covered.
I'd say this calls for celebration.
Packing all today's biggest plays into one lightning fast hour.
Oh my goodness, what play!
Every game. Every night.
Swing and a miss!
Every highlight that makes the headlines.
Are you kidding me?
We live today, preview tomorrow.
This race in the NL Central is getting good.
On Quick Pitch. Late nights and early mornings, only on MLB Network.
Scoreless innings out of the bullpen in his major league debut. He's walked a few hitters, but only given up a couple of hits. And with men on second and third in both the fourth and the sixth innings, he has kept the Guardians off the board. So a job well done by Daniel in his big league debut tonight.
I'm not getting him run here, pick up a W now. That'd be a great feeling for the family there. Nice job by Davis Daniel tonight.
Randall Grichuk swings through that. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cal Quantrill has delivered a solid outing for Cleveland. Quantrill trying to get through 6 innings. When he does, the Guardians normally win. He is 19-4 in 40 career starts going 6 or more innings. The Guardians are 29-11 in those games. They're 12-18 when he goes fewer than 6 innings. As Grichuk pops out to Andres Jimenez. Somebody's going to have to score here at some point tonight. There will be a winner.
Moves to be able to lift one out of here right now. Good swing last at bat.
Ball 1 from Quantrill. That's kind of one thing that's held Cleveland back this year, is that their pitching, especially their starters, have not been healthy. They have not had much of Tristan McKenzie at all. He's only made 2 starts all season. Shane Bieber's made 19. They've had to rely on some younger arms. And Aaron Savali was traded. He was having a good year, but he was dealt to the Rays. So they've kind of had to scrap it together from a starting pitching standpoint. As Moustakas fouls this one off. It's only the 15th start this year for Quantrill.
He's 3 for 7 against Quantrill in his career. 11 home runs against the Guardians.
Full count on Moustakas. Here's ball 4. Quantrill wanted that. Second walk issued by Quantrill tonight. Escobar will bat after we hear from Jack in the Box.
My classic sourdough Jack. It's named after your 2 favorite things, sourdough and me. Only at Jack.
Escobar is 0 for 2. Hit the ball hard really both times. Was robbed of a base hit by Arias in his first at bat. It's this one softly towards second. Jimenez flips to Arias and over to Naylor for an inning-ending double play.
It's like that. Got him and stays fair.
The Roberto Clemente Award is bestowed annually to the player who best represents the game of baseball, both on and off the field. Friday, join MLB Central as this year's nominees for this prestigious award are announced. Live Friday on MLB Network. Imagine an entire channel dedicated to taking you to the most exciting moments in baseball as they happen.
And it's gone!
With live look-ins to clutch at-bats.
A walk-off flare!
And players on the edge of making history.
This could be it! 62!
It's the best seat in the house at every ballpark. All commercial-free.
Can you believe it?
MLB Network Strike Zone. Wednesdays and Fridays, all season long.
It's your journey on every mile in a brand new Hyundai. By the OC Healthcare Agency, build your healthiest self at angels.ocnavigator.org. And by your local Southern California Cadillac dealers. Davis Daniel worked 3 scoreless innings in his major league debut. Nice job for the Angels. Got a pat on the back from Phil Nevin on leaving after the 6th inning. And now in the 7th, the Angels go back to their bullpen. It's Aaron Loop pitching in this scoreless game.
We saw the seat from Davis Daniel today to go out in that first appearance. Major leagues had some little traffic against him, but stayed under control. Made some good pitches when he needed to.
Miles Straw bats here in the top of the 7th inning. And it's Kwan and Ramirez Loop's presence will turn Ramirez around to bat right-handed. Doesn't really matter with Ramirez which side of the plate he hits from. Well, a bloop to right. Cabbage coming in. Long run. Makes the catch.
And that speed, that closing speed to run that one down.
One away here in the top of the 7th. In the middle of the 7th, we'll have a Nissan game break. So one down, the batter Quan. Quan has 2 hits, one of them an infield hit. Three balls, no strikes. Quan, a guy with pretty good speed.
And he's a real patient hitter too. He doesn't chase a lot.
There's a strike from Loop. There's another, so Loop has come back from 3-0 to make it 3-2.
You have to throw something in the strike zone to get him out here, though.
A little bouncer. If that stays fair, it would be trouble, but a foul ball. Cleveland has 5 hits. The Angels have 3. One of the Guardian Angels warming up in the bullpen for Cleveland. Matt Moore getting ready to enter this game for the Guardians.
Well, he was well liked by his teammates here with the Angels.
Very professional and did a great job for the Angels this year. Hard from Quan and a base hit through the right side. 3 hits for Quan. Jose Ramirez has a double in this game. He comes up now.
Into this game, hitting 400 against the Angels this year. Now it's going to be jumping up even more so now with 3 for 4. Hitting 500, 7 for 14 this season against the Angels for Quan. He's a guy you get a double play with, but you got to be real careful with him at the plate.
Ramirez has been one of the most consistent offensive players in all of baseball for the last number of years. You see him number 1 on that list in extra base hits going back to 2017. He's up there in runs batted in as well. It's this one hard up the middle and a base hit for Ramirez. So Quan gets to second, and Josh Naylor comes up in a big spot, but at least it's the 7th inning and not the 8th. Naylor hit those 3 home runs to give the Guardians a lead in the 8th inning of all 3 games these two teams played at Progressive Field earlier this year.
Well, he has been really, really good with runners in scoring position too, so you got to really be careful. 347, slugging .554 with runners in scoring position.
There's a strike to Naylor, who has walked twice in this game, hit into that double play his last time. It's a soft liner that Brandon Drury allowed to play on a hop, able to turn that twin killing to end the 5th.
Really been pretty good against left-handed pitching too. Slugging at .475, .283. batting average.
Neither team's had a hit with a man in scoring position in this game. And one of those homers that Naylor hit against the Angels back in May was off a lefty. It was off of the one warming up in the bullpen right now for Cleveland, Matt Moore. That's line to right. That's a base hit. That's going to give the Guardians the lead. Quan scores. Ramirez goes to third base. And Josh Naylor bites the Angels again. An RBI single makes it 1-0 Cleveland.
And that was an 0-2 pitch, too. It didn't get exactly where Luke wanted to throw it. Had a chance to get him to chase it. He stayed in on it. Curveball. And lines out and in right field for an RBI single.
Here's Laureano. There's a strike.
Naylor was going back to first base on that one. Luke, with his delivery, had him going back with a stolen base earlier tonight.
1-2 strikes on Laureano. Calhoun follows. Aaron Loops allowed 3 straight hits with 1 out here in the 7th. Naylor's bringing home Quan. That puts Quantrill in line for the win. Pretty good outing for Quantrill tonight. 6 scoreless innings and 3 hits allowed.
It's back-to-back good outings for him after that game against Tampa.
Cleveland trying to find reasons to believe down the stretch. This will score a run as Paris shoots it to first and is in time for the out. Laureano gets an RBI as Ramirez scores, and it's 2-0.
Go right on the throw. Laureano go down the line. That was real close. Just before his foot hit the bag.
The Twins are off today, so Cleveland would be 5.5 back if they win. Again, the Guardians just have to tie the Twins. With the win on Wednesday, Cleveland was able to nab the season series and the tiebreaker over Minnesota. The Guardians would need to get pretty hot, even so, to have a chance to win the division. It's something that really hasn't happened all year for Cleveland. They enter today's play 6 games under 500. It's weird to talk about a team being in it when they're this far under 500 this point in the year, but that's kind of how it is in the American League Central. Last time Cleveland was above 500 was July 8th. It was also when they were in first place. And the Twins have been in first most of the year in that division. 2-2 strikes on the former Angel Calhoun.
Chase that cutter well out of the strike zone. Showed him enough fastballs in and try to get him to expand and chase something off the plate and down and away.
There's Jose Marte warming up in the Angels bullpen. Calhoun with a fly ball to left. And Randall Grichuk has it to end the top of the 7th. Time for a Nissan game break as the Guardians grab a 2-0 lead against the Angels, where we take you to the Braves and the Cardinals. Adam Wainwright roughed up all year and today gave up a home run to Ronald Acuna. In fact, Acuna would hit 2 home runs in that game. And Matt Olson, number 47, the major league leader in home runs with that shot out toward left center field. Only the 4th Brave to ever hit 47 or more home runs in a season. And one more from Acuna already, who has made history this year with more than 30 homers and 60 steals. Still an outside chance for Acuna. Let's get to 40 home runs.
That first home run got out in a second on that line drive. He's such a talented player. He's just fun to watch. I mean, what he's even his throwing arm out in the outfield. But you look at Atlanta right now, Wayne. I got to believe they're the best team in baseball going by far. Their starting pitching's good. Their bullpen's been good enough. But that offense, 1 through 9, there's so much power in there.
Now 91 wins for the Braves. They have the best record in the major leagues. They've pretty much locked up the #1 seed in the National League. So you'd think the playoffs, maybe even the World Series, will go through Atlanta.
Yeah, you would think so. Just because I said that relentless offense, too, and their starting pitching is so good. Max Fried being back in that rotation now. He was out for a bit. Helps him out. Spencer Strider is some kind of special, too.
Strider leads the major leagues in strikeouts. Meanwhile, the Yankees lost today. They've had a little bit of a run since calling up the Martian, Jason Dominguez. They've been able to use some younger players, so they've won a little bit more lately. The Astros finished off a sweep of the Rangers yesterday, and they now have first place in the American League West, although Seattle beat Tampa Bay in a close game tonight, 1-0. And the Marlins had their winning streak ended by the Dodgers tonight, which knocks Miami out of the final playoff spot in the National League. The score here at the Big A is 2-0 Cleveland. We'll be back with the bottom of the 7th.
Sure, you'll teach her how to drive a car, then use Greenlight to power her independence. With crash detection with 911 dispatch, family location sharing, and emergency SOS alerts. Invest in your best investment with Greenlight.
Home cooks, start your ovens. It's time to get dinner ready faster. With Home Chef's easy prep and no mess options, you're winning dinner when you cook.
Three Angels, Matt Moore on the mound for Cleveland.
No good. His fastball's 93-95, but his knuckle curve on that pitch right there, you saw it, and a very good changeup.
Cal Quantrill in line for the win for the Guardians. 6 scoreless innings, 3 hits, struck out 6. See Moore picked up off waivers, as was Lucas Giolito. And Ronaldo Lopez as well for Cleveland. Lopez and Giolito, this is the 4th different team they've been on together.
And that is amazing.
0-2 on Trey Cabbage leading off here in the 7th.
See Lucas Giolito throw a bullpen session today, and he got a chance to talk to Shohei when he was out running earlier today.
The Guardian Angels have arrived. And maybe throw Cole Calhoun on that list too.
Yeah.
Those 3 picked up off waivers at the end of August. It was an unusual set of circumstances. Certainly you can understand the Angels' rationale. It was something that under the new rules made possible that a team that might have been in it at the beginning of August and not at the end of August placed some veteran players on waivers, and the Guardians fattened up their roster as a result. And we'll see Giolito pitching Saturday. Well, Giolito in his start against Minnesota earlier this week gave up 9 runs. Dominic Leone was also picked up off waivers by the Mariners. Hunter Renfroe went to the Reds in that scenario, and Randall Grichuk was not picked up by anybody.
Just as you remember, for Matt Moore, that first batter of an inning has been his biggest issue, really. See if Cabbage can find his way on base here.
And he can. Ball 4. So Moore walks the leadoff batter, and the Angels have a man on here in the 7th. Chad Wallach is 0 for 2.
Still pretty amazing on that flight out from Philadelphia to San Francisco before taking on Oakland. All these guys were on that plane going out there, and then the next morning flying back, pick up where the Guardians were playing.
Cabbage got a huge jump. That'll be an easy stolen base for Cabbage. It's the first of his major league career. He had 31 in the minor leagues this year.
Just a huge jump going on first movement, no chance at all. So 3 stolen bases today, and the trend continues.
So a stolen base again allowed by Cleveland. That's 3 tonight. So the Guardians have allowed the second most stolen bases in the major leagues this year. Good changeup by Matt Moore, and it's 1 ball 2 strikes against Wallach in this battle of a pitcher facing one of his former catchers.
Always the toughest thing too, because you're always thinking in line with your catcher. What would he put down? What was the sequence you were going to try? And you always feel the catcher has that advantage against you as a pitcher.
2 balls 2 strikes on Wallach.
It's Rengifo back in the dugout now.
Toward the right field line, a long run. Laureano slides to make the catch.
Again, another good defensive play by Laureano. He ran a long, long way to run that one down. No idea how he got to that baseball. So Arco, top tier play, but Laureano slides in there and quickly got up to make that throw in to keep Cabbage from advancing also. Okay, no more highlighting him on defense anymore. That's it. Done.
Jimenez impressed. Very good defender in his own right. Phillips lines one to right, a base hit. Cabbage around third, gets the stop sign, runs right through it. Laureano fires home, not in time. Cabbage scores, RBI for Phillips, and the Angels are on the board.
Warner, I don't think he got the tag at all on Cabbage. A couple good swings tonight for Brett Phillips. Deep to the wall and right center was caught. Now that RBI single. Now you got to think, with that speed of Phillips, he might try to steal a bag himself. Just a higher throw than normal. Able to get that hand in there.
Bill Hasselman was stopping Cabbage at third, and Cabbage said, well, thanks, but no thanks.
Walk, a stolen base, and then scored on a single.
So a run batted in for Phillips, who's hit the ball hard a couple of times now tonight. He has good speed too, so he could be a threat to run.
I gotta believe you gotta take that shot right now.
The batter is Paris, who has walked and reached on an error. Angels have 3 stolen bases in this game, and the one for Cabbage paying off here in the 7th against Matt Moore.
70 now on the season.
Ball in the dirt. Phillips thought about it, but ultimately stayed at first.
I think because he was going back on his secondary lead, because Matt Moore had him going back. That's the only reason why he didn't go. A lot of room on that right side of the infield for Cameron Paris, especially on a changeup or maybe in a fastball away to punch it that way.
ball hit toward right center field. And Miles Straw gets in position to make the catch. Phillips draws a throw. And 2 down here in the 7th. Join your Angels this Saturday, September 9th against the Guardians. Stay to enjoy a post-game Saturday night fireworks show driven by your helpful SoCal Honda dealers. Visit angels.com/promotions for more details.
It's the time where Brett Phillips is going to take a shot at stealing the base here.
Yeah, got it, but gotta go.
Yeah, especially with the leadoff batter at the plate. Worst case scenario, you have Schanuel leading off the 8th inning.
Or varying his leg kick. He has a pretty high leg kick most of the time. He's gone to the slide step a few times with Phillips at first. And there's no reason not to be aggressive here. Literally no reason at all.
You go back to even the last 3 seasons, base stealers have been successful. 13 of 15 attempts against Matt Moore.
Cabbage had a steal that got himself in scoring position after drawing a leadoff walk. Phillips knocked him in with an RBI base hit. Now Phillips, the tying run at first. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Schanuel, who has struck out a couple of times tonight.
Trying to extend that on base streak to start his career. He's wanted a couple non-strikes today too. A fastball above the zone, a changeup last one.
Well, 1 ball, 2 strikes on Schanuel. Fights to stay alive. There goes Phillips and a liner to left, a base hit. Schanuel gets a base hit. Quan misplays it in left. Phillips goes diving into third. Probably wouldn't have been able to score anyway as Quan regained it quickly. But Schanuel now at 16 straight games, reaching base safely to begin his major league career, an Angels record.
Anytime you're passing Darren Erstad in anything, you're doing something really well. He stayed on that knuckle curve and went the other way. First was on the move, reads that one. Always that energy, sliding head first in.
Schanuel now has that record to himself. And Terry Francona is headed to the mound. Matt Moore fails to get out of the 7th inning. In his first game against the Angels since leaving them. Brandon Drury will have a chance to tie it up in a moment.
With the Game Time app, I paid 60% less than this guy. What? And it's not just sports tickets. It's also concerts. Performances, too.
Oh, come on!
Download Game Time. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
ED is difficult for me and for my partner. Through HIMS, I can message a licensed provider about clinically proven ED treatments. Like the generic form of Viagra, which can cost 90% less than the brand name version. Then HIMS ships discreetly to my door for free. I never knew it could be this easy to get my confidence back. Now we can both count on a great experience every time. Start your free visit today at forhims.com.
Prescription eyewear can be really expensive, but here's the secret. Glasses don't actually cost that much to make. Surprise! Especially when you design your own eyewear and then sell it directly to your customers. Like we do. Oh, hi, we're Warby Parker. Our glasses start at $95, including prescription lenses. And the best part? You could try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
Knee Nissan. At Nissan, we make cars that thrill. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com. Buy Spectrum One, Internet Advanced Wi-Fi and mobile for just $49.99 a month. Visit Spectrum.com. And buy Jack in the Box, the double bacon sourdough jack. Slice after slice after slice of bacon. Try it.
I'll try that.
Yeah, good. I was hoping you would.
I will tonight for sure.
New pitcher for the Guardians is Angel De Los Santos. He enters with the tying and go-ahead runs on base. Brandon Drury at the plate. Exit ball one from De Los Santos.
93-97 with a little tailing action on his four-seamer, curveball, slider, changeup.
It's been used a lot. His 61st appearance this year. Good slider there. It's third on the Guardians in appearances behind Stephan, who's at 63, and Clase, who's at 65. Clase has 9 blown saves this year. Rounding to third, Ramirez has it and throws to second to end the inning. So the Angels settle for 1 and trail by 1.
Think baseball.
There's something that's been missing in the debate.
Think analysis.
He really looked like the perfect thing to add to this club last night.
Think advanced metrics.
The new rules are having an impact, and I'll bottom line it.
Think MLB Now, the show for the thinking fan, only on MLB Network.
It's like got it, stays fair.
Everybody feel it, come around with the rhythm, it's a sound. Everybody get down when we bring it to you. It's like that.
Covering a full night of baseball is a team effort. From the first pitch,
Let's go to the ballpark.
to live look-ins and post-game reactions. Tell us how this one feels. That's how this team covers every team on MLB Tonight.
Pacifico, rich golden lager brewed for those who follow their own path. Pacifico, live life anchors up. By Metro Water District for water-saving tips and rebates, visit bewaterwise.com. By California Community College, enroll today at iCanGoToCollege.com. And by Easton and Easton, official personal injury partners of Angels baseball. That kid is rooting for a comeback.
Yes. Good to see Nolan Schanuel get that base hit going the other way. 16 straight games reaching base. Club record.
Jose Marte, the new pitcher for the Angels here in the 8th inning. And the runs in this game came home in the 7th. Cleveland scored 2 in the top of the inning. And the Angels got 1 back on a base hit by Phillips. We saw Marte make his first appearance of the season in Oakland on Sunday. We saw Jhonathan Diaz make his first appearance of this season today. Davis Daniel made his major league debut as well.
Pretty solid job by Davis Daniel today. Jhonathan Diaz, we've seen him throw the ball well now in 3 straight seasons. Not a whole lot of innings thrown for the Angels, but he's been solid. He will pitch inside well. We talked about that. His changeup was good. Slider good, but what a job by Davis Daniel tonight. Got to be a thrill for him. His family here today.
Bouncer to third. Escobar over the bag. Has it. Long throw across. It is in time.
Good stretch there by Schanuel, too. Nice play by Escobar.
Right over the bag at third. The over-the-top throw at the stretch from Schanuel.
There's all that big frame to be able to get that stretch out there to get that out.
So one out, and here's Jimenez. It's one deep to center. Phillips going back for it. Makes the catch. Spun around a couple times, but able to track it. And Jimenez lines out.
He's always must-see TV watching him, everything he does. The energy level for Phillips.
Looked like he was celebrating that World Series hit again, the way he was spinning around.
It's like, yes.
There's Arias looking at a strike. 97 on that fastball from Jose Marte. Soft chopper as Drury comes in for it. Fires it to first to make it a 1-2-3-8 for Jose Marte.
It's like that.
Jhonathan stays fair.
Everybody feel it, come around with the rhythm, it's a sound. Everybody get down when we give it to you. It's like that.
Think baseball.
There's something that's been missing in the debate.
Think analysis.
He really looked like the perfect thing to add to this club last night.
Think advanced metrics.
The new rules are having an impact, and I'll bottom line it.
Think MLB Now, the show for the thinking fan, only on MLB Network. MLB Tonight, the ultimate late-night baseball party. See the night's biggest moments. What? The best interviews.
We all love DJ Diaz.
And cutting-edge analysis from TV's best.
This one takes the cake.
That is awesome.
MLB Tonight, late nights on MLB Network.
Angels into the home stretch at MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of authentic jerseys, caps, t-shirts, collectibles, and more. Gear up like this kid did at Angels at MLBshop.com. The postseason is nearing, and the Orioles, with the best record in the American League, trying to hold off Tampa Bay for the East Division. Houston in first in the West. Mariners just a half game back. Texas, the team that was in first place most of the year in the American League West, well, now they're on the outside looking in, although they've got a 4-game series with the Blue Jays coming up in Toronto.
That's still amazing that the Rangers looking in and hoping to get hot again.
Richick loops one towards shallow center. Straw comes in for it and makes the catch.
What, the Astros look pretty strong now. Again, everyone's getting healthy for them.
And the Astros look primed for another run. You never know what happens once you get in.
But when you've done it as often as they have, you always have that confidence. Now Altuve's been crushing the baseball too for him.
And it felt like early on, especially, they had some injuries, but they really missed the presence of Verlander. They never really replaced him. And then at the trade deadline, well, they replaced Verlander with Verlander.
And he pitched really good and beat the Rangers the other day and Max Scherzer.
And Scherzer has started to have some trouble in bigger games over the last couple of years. There were some moments down the stretch for the Mets last year where Scherzer gave it up, allowed 7 runs in the playoff game against the Padres last year. And even though he had pitched well for Texas since the trade, well, that first big game he pitched got beat up by the Astros. Moustakas strikes out, 2 quick outs for Trevor Stephan here in the bottom of the 8th.
He's got that good splitter working here. Also good fastball, 95, 99 with a slider, but a splitter really tough. It's left-handed batters. It was again. That's one of those split finger changeups as compared to a split finger fastball you would see like Shohei throw. It's more of an all-speed pitch. He throws it a lot to left-handed batters.
Well, we'll likely see Clase in the bottom of the 9th. Stephan tries to get through the 8th inning with that splitter intact.
Back-to-back-to-back splitters.
And he strikes out Escobar with that splitter, so back-to-back strikeouts for Trevor Stephan.
It's like that.
Got him, it stays fair.
Everybody feel it, come around with the rhythm, it's a sound. Everybody get down when we give it to you. It's like that.
Imagine an entire channel dedicated to taking you to the most exciting moments in baseball as they happen.
And it's gone!
With live look-ins to clutch at-bats
A walk-off slam!
and players on the edge of making history.
This could be it! 62!
It's the best seat in the house at every ballpark. All commercial-free.
Can you believe it?
MLB Network Strike Zone. Wednesdays and Fridays, all season long. Sunday, on the next episode of MLB's Carded, join Greg Amsinger for a look at all things cardboard. From vintage to modern, we've got it covered. MLB's Carded, Sunday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network. This is Mookie Betts. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Mookie Betts plays hard, so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
His major league debut.
3 shutout innings. And, you know, the first 2 batters, second and third no outs, got through there, no damage. 1 punch out. Always impressed to get that first strikeout as a family right there to see that, witness that. What a job by Davis Daniels today.
3 scoreless relief innings in his big league debut tonight. Kept the Guardians off the board for a while. Cleveland, though, has since taken the lead. 2 runs in the top of the 7th. Angels got 1 back in the bottom of the 7th. Now Jose Soriano pitches the 9th inning. Last time we saw Soriano, he retired all 3 batters that he faced with groundouts and ended up as the losing pitcher in the game on Tuesday against Baltimore.
I mean, that was a tough one. He threw the ball really well. This soft contact on the ground.
It's the silliest loss you could imagine. Entering with that zombie runner at second base, and then a couple of ground outs get the run home. Soriano worked a 1-2-3 inning and ends up as the losing pitcher. Faces Miles Straw here in the top of the ninth. And Straw leads off with Kwan and Ramirez behind him. Soriano just trying to keep this a one-run game and put whatever pressure there could be on Emmanuel Clase.
You have that cutter, that 100 plus.
Clase leads the American League in saves, but he has blown 9. It shows how many close games the Guardians play too. In fact, that Clase on a team that's under 500 has had 47 save chances this year.
That itself's amazing because that offense has just not been there.
Straw with a liner to first. Schanuel grabs it on the short hop. And there's one away here in the top of the ninth as Clase gets ready in the Cleveland bullpen. He has had 7 straight saves since his last blown save, which was at Tampa Bay on August 12th. He's only had 2 blown saves since the All-Star break. Well, he had 7 in the first half, and he had made the All-Star team ahead of Carlos Estevez, who had 0 in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, Carlos was unreal in the first half. Still overall solid season for Estevez, but Clase, yeah, he had some blown saves, but I mean, you get so caught up with that, the strikeouts and that cut fastball at 102.
There's Estevez. Maybe he'll get a chance if there's a 10th inning tonight. 3 balls, no strikes on Kwan.
He is so patient.
There's a strike. Kwan not only a patient hitter, but didn't strike out much either. He's had a nice year at the top of the Cleveland order. Plays a very good left field. And he takes ball 4. He's on base for the 4th time in this game.
There's a dangerous hitter coming to the plate now, Jose Ramirez. Especially when you have that speed at first base, so you got to be aware of that. You try to be a little quicker to the plate. And then you got that dangerous hitter with all those extra base hits he's had since 2017, tops in the game.
Ball 1 to Ramirez. Last year, Kwan was a Gold Glove winner, and the Guardians won a bunch of them. Kwan, Straw, Jimenez, and Bieber all won Gold Gloves in the American League last year.
Boy, he takes a healthy hack.
Jose Ramirez and Tim Anderson squared up at Progressive Field earlier this year, and as Tom Hamilton said, Jose decked him. Down goes Anderson. So rare when you see players square up like that on a baseball field. Jose Ramirez with one wheeling right hand took down Tim Anderson in that Guardians White Sox fight earlier this year. There's a base hit for Ramirez, so Kwan will make it to 3rd. The Guardians trying to tack on here in the top of the 9th inning.
Juan just felt that that ball was not hit as hard as normal for Ramirez, and he's going to be aggressive right up the middle. Cut that corner and easily gets to third base. Ramirez with a big game himself tonight.
Three hits for Ramirez. Now Naylor with a chance. He drove in the first run of the game back in the 7th. Bouncer to first. Schanuel has it. Looks the runner toward the plate and now fires home to get Quan and another pickle. It's happened a couple of times tonight. And he's out at third to win the inning.
Real patient play by Nolan Schanuel on that one there. See what way he was going to react. Then he gets into that play, throws it a plate, and forces him back to third. And a similar slide for Juan Escobar the other day to third base.
Listen to live Black-Out-Free audio from every major league club.
And Aaron Judge with some thump.
Stream video of minor league games.
That's a go-ahead grand slam.
And watch the best baseball highlights and look-ins on MLB Big Inning. The all-new At Bat is your all-in-one live baseball subscription for only $3.99 per month.
There she goes. Home run, Pete Alonso.
Subscribe to At Bat within the MLB app today.
Covering a full night of baseball is a team effort, and it all starts right here with Harold and Adnan on MLB Tonight's First Pitch.
Who's ready for baseball?
It's time for the first pitch.
We're about 25 minutes from game time. I'm so excited.
Our quick hitters right out of the gate. During the games, we take you to the games where you might see a lot.
Greg, we have a potential walk-off at Wrigley.
No way. What's going on?
Oh, they've got a runner at third and Nico Horner's up.
Here's a pitch.
Base hit. Nico rocks it up. Cubs win.
Cubs win. And after the games, we're all about instant highlights and player reactions.
Nico, congratulations. Your first career walk-off hit. How did that one feel?
Oh, man, it's as good as it gets. An amazing crowd here tonight. Wrigley Field is a very special place. We're feeling good right now, for sure.
And that's how this team covers every team. All in a night's work on MLB Tonight.
That play right at first base, steps on the bag, looks and see what Quan was going to do, and then gets that throw to Chad Wallach. It's a perfect play. You want to make sure you make that commitment for him and then throw to the base where you don't want him to advance. If the worst case scenario, he goes back to third. Nice job on that one. Remember his debut, he was part of a triple play. Here, just a routine double play. 3-1, 2-5. Double play.
It's 3-5-2. Routine, though, nonetheless.
Yes.
So Juan, who got into 2 rundowns tonight, tagged out at third, and now Emmanuel Clase will try to close this one for Cleveland. 9 blown saves this year for Clase, although he has 38 to give him the major league lead in that category.
You look at some of those numbers, too. You wonder how that's possible. The whip just barely over 1. Opponent's batting average 225.
The Angels have Cabbage, Wallach, and Phillips due up against Clase.
He's only given up 3 home runs, 14 walks.
And a roller from Cabbage, scooped up by Arias, and a quick out.
Dr. Hyundai key for the game today. Trying to make this comeback against an elite closer. We're in this together. I'm just looking for somehow at least get a base runner here. Put some pressure on a guy that has blown those 9 saves with that outstanding stuff he has. Good battle here by the pitching staff today with the opener today with Jhonathan Diaz. Solid.
If this score holds, this would be the 50th one-run game for Cleveland this year. And there would be 25 and 25 in those one-run games. 1 ball, 1 strike on Wallach. Game 2 of this series tomorrow night. Griffith Canning will face Logan Allen. It'll be Tyler Anderson against Giolito on Saturday night, and then Kenny Rosenberg starts Sunday afternoon against Mission Viejo's Tanner Bybee.
Chad Wallach with some power, 7 home runs, especially the right center field. He'll probably have to do that against a cut fastball.
There's a drive out toward right center field. Off the bat of Wallach. That ball is deep, and it one-hops the wall. Past a sliding Laureano. Chad Wallach a double the other way, and now the tying run at second.
Stayed on that one real well. That's where his power is, that direction. Pitch runner now for him, but a good swing for Chad Wallach. A little more carry.
Well, the Angels bench is a little bit light tonight, so Logan O'Hoppe is running for Wallach. Remember, Luis Rengifo left this game in the first inning, and Mickey Moniak was scratched because of back tightness before the game started. Plus Shohei, his status likely unavailable. So the Angels really only have Matt Dice on the bench now, aside from O'Hoppe coming in. Here's a bloop base hit for Phillips. O'Hoppe goes to third, and now the Angels have the tying run at third base and the winning run at first. A good night for Phillips.
Remember, he had that long drive to center field. O'Hoppe was initially going back to Reed to make sure that was down. Quan has a very good throwing arm in the outfield. I'm not so sure you're going to take a shot on anyhow, even if you read that one well. A good speed at first base now. And there's always that possibility, especially when Kyrie Paris handles the bat. You might even see, that's why that conversation out there, a push bunt.
Angels Live postgame presented by OC Navigator. We'll be breaking down a big comeback if the Angels can pull it off here in the bottom of the ninth. Carl Willis, the pitching coach for the Guardians, headed back to the dugout. Cleveland has not had a pitcher blown 10 saves in a season since Danny Baez in 2003. Clase has blown 9, and if the Angels score a run here in the ninth inning, it'll be the 10th blown save for Clase this year.
Getting your first RBI here now, Paris.
Tying run at third, winning run at first. Paris shows bunt, takes ball one. And 2 Guardian infielders charged in from the right side. Les Ramirez close at third. Left Arias over towards second base. Phillips looked like he was trying to read the infield to see if he could take off. Harris with a big swing there and a miss on the slider from Clase.
Yeah, you just want to shorten up a little bit here now, especially with the speed that Paris has at the plate. Long look at Bill Hasselman, third. Gonna watch that back pick too to third base with O'Hoppe.
Harris shows bunt, gets it down foul. And now 1 ball 2 strikes on Kyron Paris. They strike out quite a bit.
And that's, what you're trying to do there is as a batter, you're just playing catch with the bat. So when you move down like that, it's tough to be able to make that, especially on that slider he threw. You just got to keep the bat level, bring those knees down enough, and play catch with the bat.
Tying run, O'Hoppe at third. Phillips with good speed, the winning run at first. He's running. And Paris had a good cut at that one, but fouled it back.
A real good cut. That was a 101-mile-an-hour cutter.
Chad Wallach doubled with 1 out.
Gotta believe you're going to see a slider after a swing like that on a cutter.
See if Phillips runs again. He's not. And Paris fouls off another pitch.
Did get that slider in another bad spot on it. Good battle here for Paris.
Guardians have their infield mostly in. Harris has good speed too. There's good speed all around the bases here, including the tying run O'Hoppe at third. Inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes on Paris. Harris 0 for 2 tonight. Reached on an error. He's walked. And he lines a base hit to right. The game is tied. Here comes Phillips on his way to third. Laureano's throw is not in time.
Wow. That was a close play, but what a time to pick up your first Major League RBI. Carry Paris on that one. Line drive against one of the best closers. Carry Paris, what a swing. RBI. Cutter at 100. By the way, that was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be at third base.
Laureano with such a good arm. He smothered that ball, got up and fired. And Phillips in a mad dash was able to get there just ahead of the tag from Ramirez.
Set up the bases loaded here for Brandon Drury, who's outstanding at home.
Trying to set up the double play. Brandon Drury is at the plate with a chance to win it for the Angels. The 10th blown save for Emmanuel Clase this year. It's 2-2. And now the winning run with good speed. Brett Phillips at third. Ball 1 from Emmanuel Clase.
And you go back to that read by Brett Phillips on Laureano. Sees that, he's looking that way. Sees a slight little bobble, then it takes that shot and slides in safely at third. Great read.
Drury tried to hold his swing. He could not. Strike 1. Four straight Angels have reached here in the 9th inning against Clase. Wallach started it with a double. Phillips had a base hit. Paris, the game tying hit, his first career RBI. Schanuel, an intentional walk. Almost to the backstop. A good save by David Fry.
The Angels have had some of those crazy walk-offs, either a wild pitch or an error. That was a great scoop there.
Guardians have been walked off against 9 times this year. Swing and a miss, and a high slider from Clase.
That wasn't by design. That was a backup slider.
Richick on deck if Drury can't get it done. On 2-2, Drury stays alive.
Right back in there with another slider. Clase's had a lot of the plate here today with his pitches.
10 blown saves for Emmanuel Clase this year. Angels trying to win it. 2-2. Ball 3 bounced in there as Fry again saved the day for Cleveland.
I have no idea how he blocked that one. That was well out in front of the plate. That's 2 outstanding plays by Fry behind the plate. That barely got to the dirt. I mean, you talk about perfect technique. His shoulders were squared straight. That way the ball's not going to bounce away from him. Kept it in front. Let's go, bases loaded. 3-2 count.
Clase has to throw a strike. Angels trying to walk off the Guardians. On 3-2, Drury. It's a bouncer to first. Naylor has it, throws home. It is in time to get Phillips.
Almost a high throw. Fry doing it all defensively in this inning. Behind the plate.
Fry just kept a toe on the plate.
And they're going to check that. They might as well.
LA's challenging the out call at home plate.
Might as well.
Here's a real good look. No, it's definitely above the plate. Did he get it down before the hand? There was definitely a disconnect between his foot and the plate. It's a matter of the hand get in there before he got the foot back down. And the call was out at the plate. That's going to make it tough. Let's see that stand.
You do get an extra challenge going into extra innings, so this won't affect the Angels at all. I see Fry looking at the video board. He's confident that this out will hold. The throw sailed a bit on Naylor, but David Fry able to get back down on home plate, it appeared, as Phillips made it a close play with his good speed.
Boy, that was so close. I still think he got that foot down just before Phillips got his hand on the plate. There's definitely
After
a
review,
disconnect.
the call on the field stands. The runner's out. LA loses their challenge.
Yeah, he knew it was going to end up being a stand.
Now it's Randall Grichuk. That'll take a base hit or some sort of mistake. Get that run home from third with 2 outs.
Having a wild pitch.
Sure. There's a strike. Clase has thrown 4 wild pitches this year.
Could have thrown 2. Fry was outstanding on 2 pitches in the dirt.
No balls, 2 strikes on Grichuk. And looking back at that ball that Drury swung at, it would have been ball 4 had he let it go. Grichuk stays alive on the cutter. 23 pitches from Clase.
He's left a lot of those cutters in the middle of the plate here. Let's take a little flare into the outfield.
Another save by Fry.
Boy, Fry has been great behind the plate here, keeping those baseballs in front. That was right at the plate.
A bouncer foul as Grichuk stays in there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Angels have only had 1 walk-off hit all year with Stefanix against the Yankees. Grichuk lines one to center, and that's a walk-off hit. It scores the runner from third, Kyron Paris. Say goodnight to the Guardians. The Angels win in a comeback in the bottom of the 9th, 3-2.
Well, he's a mean one. He's the Grinch. The walk-off base hits. What a battle here in the bottom of the 9th. Some clutch hits against one of the best closers in the game. Grichuk with the big base hit, the walk-off.
The Angels' first walk-off hit all season in the 9th inning. And Randall Grichuk with 2 outs against Emmanuel Clase comes through.
Another pitch, a lot of the zone. He stayed on that, lines it to center field.
2 runs on 4 hits in the bottom of the 9th inning for the Angels against Emmanuel Clase. And they pulled off the comeback. Randall Grichuk gets the go-ahead hit, the game-winning hit in this 3-2 game against the Guardians tonight. The game-tying hit came from the Angels rookie shortstop, Kyron Paris, who scored the winning run as well, standing by with Erica Weston.
Guys, thanks very much. KP, you picked a great time to collect your first career RBI. Tell me how you got it done to tie the game there.
You know, there was guys on base, and just wanted to get a good pitch and, you know, drive in the run.
You got a good one against a really good closer. That guy is tough. How were you feeling coming into the box? How were the nerves stepping in there thinking you had an opportunity to tie this ball game up?
I definitely felt the moment, but I just tried to slow everything down and get a good pitch, and I knew it was a big spot, and I wanted to come through for the win.
You certainly did. How excited are you for the youth on this roster? Nolan he's continuing to get on base, continues to extend his on-base streak to start the season. Yourself coming through big time tonight must be exciting for the youth of this ball club.
It's just, you know, we got a special ball club. Everyone's passing the baton, getting the next guy up, and you know, we're playing team baseball, and that leads to wins.
Keep it going. Thanks for the time.
For sure. Thank you.
All right, guys.
The Angels get their first win in September, and it gets the first major league win for Jose Soriano, who ends up getting the victory in relief. Randall Grichuk, the walk-off hit, and the Angels come from behind to beat Cleveland tonight, 3-2. For Mark Gubazon, Erica Weston, our entire crew, I'm Wayne Randazzo. The halo will shine brightly tonight. The Angels live postgame show is coming up next.